Welcome to the grand finals of the unNUELable All-Stars Draft Invitational. We are finally here. It's a few days later than expected maybe, but we've got two final teams. We've had loads of players, over 80 signups, 8 teams battling it out. We're down to the final two. It's Team Yuki versus Team unNUELable. Kidog, how are you feeling about our finals matchup today?
Feeling very excited. Should be a good one. I mean, Team It's Unknown is currently undefeated,
Mhm.
so we'll see if Team Yuki has enough time to get. They didn't. I don't believe they scrimmed at all before the tournament, so hopefully they've had enough time since the Swiss stage and the double elimination to sort of get some synergy and hopefully make this a close series.
Let's actually have a look at the teams. Can we start by having a look at Team It's Unknown? And let's have a look and remind ourselves of this roster. This, of course, is the very famous roster with Nevix going for £530,000, our most valuable player of the draft. But you've also got Voltzer on there, very, of course, competent main support player for Southampton, and a couple of others along the way. It's Unknown, I think, built a solid roster, and focusing on that tank was a really good idea, and it's certainly proved to be beneficial throughout the tournament so far. Let's have a look at Team Yuki now. Let's see what's the difference between these teams. How's this team been composed? And you can see it's much more well-rounded, I would argue. No sort of standouts in terms of the prices. You've got Aza, of course, the champion Jungle Queen player mainly, but has been playing a bit of Malga throughout the tournament as well. Finn as well, the second most valuable player. But overall, it's a pretty even roster. Very competent players. And Yuki's hoping not just to put all his eggs in the one basket of the tank, but try and make sure that overall the team is better synergistically and can get that victory. Now, one thing that we did see last time when these teams faced off in winners finals was that Yuki was not awake for that match. And so it ultimately was a 3-1 victory to
Oh,
Team
is
It's
that what
Unknown.
happened?
It was for the first two maps.
Yeah.
Yuki was not awake, so you ended up having a 2-0 start, basically a free 2-0 start for Team It's Unknown. Kilo, do you think that's going to make a difference here as we look forward to the grand finals?
I think it will make a difference. I mean, as well, when Team Unknown knocked out Andres' Team Knuff as well, they were missing their support player as well. So it feels like Team Unknown had a couple of easy matches in the upper bracket, or at least in the Swiss, against some of the good teams when missing a player. Um, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a really close series. You've got Team It's Unknown, which have two really heavy hitters, Voltzer and Nevix. Tank can be really, really impactful. And also, if you've got someone like Voltzer who can control the team, tell people what to do, what ultimates to use, that's also really strong. But as you said, Team Yuki is a bit more balanced. You got really strong backline with Yuki and Finn. You got Aza, who seems to be really good, and his Malga seems to be really good. No longer a Queen one trick. And you got a DPS line of, was it Misaki and someone else? I forgot who's.
Misaki in Chief, of course.
Oh, how did I forget about Chief? Yeah,
Of
Chief.
course.
And that's a really, competent DPS line there as well. So it's going to be up to, I think, Nevix and Voltzer to sort of turn the tide, to sort of, if they want to
Well,
take this victory.
the big question for you then, before we sort of move to our casters, is who do you think is going to win? What's your prediction in terms of the scoreline for our match today? It's a best of 7, of course. So what do you think?
I think it's going to be 4-2 to Team Yuki. What about you, Matt? What do you
4-2.
think?
Um, I mean, I'm not sure if I want it to go all the way, to be honest. The best of 7, that's a long, long night ahead of us. I could see a 4-2. I could see a 4-2. However, I would argue that I've seen, Booger and Nevix working together to try and potentially come up with some strats to find a way to counteract the Malga that we saw that was so successful in winners finals. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Maybe sort of the adjustments that have been made on the side of Team It's Unknown that have not been matched by Team Yuki will make a difference. We could see a 4-3. It could even be a victory for Team It's Unknown. But it is quite funny sitting here. Here we are, recognizing that Team It's Unknown hasn't lost a single game the entire tournament, and yet both of us are probably predicting not a comfortable necessarily, but certainly a strong victory for Team Yuki. So that's an interesting change up there. Do you think, is there anything that Team It's Unknown can do? Is there any particular area of the Team Yuki sort of composition that they can focus down and try and focus the win through that?
I think well, the lowest ranked players on the team are, I think, the DPS line for Team Yuki. So that's going to be the vulnerability for Team It's Unknown to sort of exploit. And then for, you know, team It's Unknown, you've got Edward, who's a Masters player. You've got It's Unknown, who's also Masters. You know, they got so it should be quite close, I think. But yeah, I think they just need to focus the DPS line. Yeah. And there is
See, that's
there is no
interesting.
watch updates, so we're going to be a bit delayed here for the start.
Oh.
And I think I might be lagging. Well, there's some part of my computer that might be lagging right now because I'm really am streaming. So my camera may
That's
be
all right.
very much lagging.
I'm fairly sure everything is exploding at the moment, but that's all right. I think it's gonna be fun. We've also got hero bans, of course, which is always an exciting part of the matchup. I think that's probably makes it worse. It's worse for Team Yuki overall, just because of the inflexibility of the tank line. I mean, yes, we've said that Azo has switched not just from playing the Queen, and it could also is very competent on the Winston. We saw that a lot in Gibraltar. We saw the Mauga, which was so successful on King's Row in the winners finals just last week. But the Queen, of course, is the preferred hero. So maybe there's a way that things can be worked around with that. Maybe it's something to do with the backline as well. Of course, there's a lot of emphasis on the Juno Brig or the Juno Lucio compositions coming out from Team Yuki. Maybe Team It's Unknown can look to sort of ban some of that. And I think if you're on the side of Team Yuki, you're looking at the fact that, yes, we've mentioned Edward before. He is from Warwick, so we're allowed to mention him as much as we want. But he can play Kiriko and he can play Juno. So you're looking to probably ban Kiriko as much as you can and then aim for that target as much as possible. Really try and make sure that you're leaving Nevix in particular with only one support. And when you've only got sort of a Lucio, maybe it could be a Brig, depending on what Volta wants to play. When you've only got that one support, that's going to be very dangerous, and that could allow Team Yuki to sort of break through and get that victory overall. But yeah, I agree with you. A 4-2. It should be quite interesting. Keydog's internet is downloading the update. Keydog, are you still with me? Are you still alive?
I am
Are
still
you able
with
to
you.
hear me?
I'm currently just booting up the game. My download has completed without my PC crashing, so hopefully
That
we
is
can
a
get underway
success.
soon.
That is a success.
Yep. So we got a new
What?
lobby going, so hopefully shortly we can be
Okay.
getting into it. But
See,
yeah,
that's
as you were
the
mentioning,
classic. Just to add, that's
yeah,
the classic Big Warwick success. You know, we've got to choose a patch night for any sort of big thing that we do. We've got to make sure it's as complicated as possible.
hopefully this is like just a bug fix patch notes. There's no like secret buffs or has it been like totally nerfed or something like that. I doubt that's happened though. But yeah, going back to the bans, bans are really interesting now. They've been like sort of more prevalent in Overwatch. I mean, as you're talking about, yeah, focusing bans on the backline for Team Yuki. Yeah, you got Volta, whose best hero is the Lucio, and if you can put him onto a character that's not that, even if his Brig is probably just as good, Brig is a much less has a bit less carry potential than the Lucio. You can't ready it around as Brig, as much as I may try to do that sometimes. But yeah, and then you got Edward, who's either going to be playing the Juno or is going to be playing the Curie, so you can really focus bans there. I think you can't really ban the tank line because Nevix is just so proficient in so many heroes. So I think if you are banning a tank, you're banning to protect your own tank, right? So if you want to play Mauga, you're maybe what would you maybe ban there? Maybe ban the Hazard if you just want to play the Mauga, or you ban the Orisa. And if you want to play Hazard, maybe you ban the Mauga for yourself so they can't play it, because and I don't know if I don't know if Nevix has played Hazard at all. This I haven't really seen if he has played it, but I know he's played a lot of Orisa against Doomfist anyway. But yeah, I think Team Yuki's got a lot of options. I feel like Team Unknown, they'll be trying to protect their backline a little bit, maybe focus, ban, maybe Azo a bit, banning him off, putting him onto more comfortable heroes, But like as we said, his hero pool has expanded, so he might be fine.
We will see. We will see. Yes. And I'm reading the chat right now. Cat Murray, we need and then a word that MEOW. I'm sorry, not happening. Not happening. I'm not doing it today. You'll have to pay or something like that. In fact, if you did want to, you want to hear something like that, throughout the series today, we're going to be trying to do some call-ins. So if you are interested in calling in, when the series starts, I'm going to head into the watch party in the Warwick Overwatch server. So if you're in the Warwick Overwatch server, you can come and join me, and then we can decide if you want to come and talk on stream, if you want to talk about the match, or anything at all, really. I'm not Cheese Lord, so we're probably not going to talk about politics, and I'd probably be really scared if we did, because we don't want Big Warwick falling to a far right, far left, far centrist, whatever. It could be anything. No comment on that. But yeah, we'll be careful on that one. But you can come join us on stream. Basically, you can come chat to Kai and I, and you can have a good time, as Kai and I always do, regardless. So think about that. And if you want to become on stream, if you want to talk about the match, make sure to do so. Kai, how far away are we? Are we close to getting started? I feel like
We've
I'm being
got
edged
Team
the
It's
fuck out
Unknown
of
in
it
the
right now.
lobby. It's now just Team Yuki.
Okay.
So, you know, we might need to get into their voice channel and badger them a little bit, but hopefully they will be here shortly. I think they are all in their voice channels. I'm gonna try again inviting. Oh yeah, hopefully a bit more invites have gone out.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be doing map pick soon. I've asked them to pick the first map, so hopefully
Does
that
it
comes through.
start with control? Does it
It
start with
starts with
control in
control.
this?
Yeah,
Right.
so
Okay.
it's
So.
Lijiang,
Mhm.
Ilios, and Samoa, I believe. Let me double check that for everyone.
So
It
in
is that,
terms of,
yes.
I'm assuming it's unknown. Of course, they're the highest seed. So do they just get straight on Mac pick for this?
Yes,
For this
they
first
get
round?
first map pick and they also get first hero ban. So I think if they want to play like this Lucio Juno, this Brig Juno, or something like that, Lucio Kiri, I feel like, but everyone picks Lijiang, right? And I feel that's what people are most comfortable on. So I could see something going through on there. And maybe they want to pick a more brawly playstyle, so they might ban the hazard. But yeah, hopefully we get this pick soon. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think would be the best map for Team It's known to pick? Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea. I mean, you got a couple of options, right? I'm thinking about the fact that do you want to choose something if you've had a bit more time coaching, you've had a bit more time thinking about these compositions, which we know Team It's Unknown have. Would you look to not go for Lijiang, look for something a little bit different? Maybe the Samoa, for example. But then as I say that, I know, of course, from your time playing on Team Lucky Cats, and you play with both Finn and Chief, they both have a lot of experience because Samoa map, I believe you've played a lot, right?
Yeah,
So
it's one of our favorites. Yeah, we always ban Lijiang.
well, exactly. So you have a weird situation there where maybe actually the most straightforward map pick is actually the best map pick. Maybe there's a bit of mind games, and I don't know whether Team It's Unknown are aware of that whatsoever. So that could be quite interesting. I do have one thing to ask you, Kai, because Big Bog is in the chat, and Big Bog has just said Keydog looks like a standard issue STEM student. What do you have to say to that?
I mean, I do engineering, so I can't really, yeah. But I think I may look like a standard STEM student, but I think Matt, you look like a standard econ student. So
Not true. Not true.
Ah!
Where's my quarter zip? Where's my
I thought
quarter
you had your
zip?
tie on.
You
That's
know?
my bad. Where's your tie?
Oh, I did. I did. The tie is here. I put it away. You know, the only reason I have this tie was um actually don't know. I think I was doing an interview once and I realized I hadn't brought a tie with me to university. So whatever. But no, I'm not wearing the tie today. You can tie me up later, but none of that on stream. We'll save
Oh,
that for
quite looking
our
for it.
private time. Yeah. But come on, we must be close now. I feel like I'm ready to see a match.
Yes, right.
Kai,
We're
can you tell
nearly
me
there. We
what's going on?
have
What's going on?
Ilios has been picked, and
Ilios, okay.
now we need to do the hero bands.
All right. So we're waiting on the hero bans. What do you think about Ilios? What would be best to ban for both sides? Is it a Lucio ban, for example? Like, what are we looking at?
I feel like Team Yuki will try to play probably a hazard composition, or maybe a monkey composition could be quite strong, quite divey. I feel like It's Unknown might want to ban the Tracer from Chief, could be a strong one. I know Chief is quite strong on that character. Or maybe ban sort of a hit scan, I'm not sure. You got Joby, who I believe I want to say is a Genji player, and It's Unknown who's a Tracer player. So they got a Genji and a Tracer player, so maybe actually yeah, it may be a hit scan player. It may be a hit scan ban, sorry.
Well, something interesting coming out from Edward, I believe, is saying that they've banned Brig. So that's Team It's Unknown banning Brig, I believe. What do you think about that one?
They haven't said it in chat, so maybe they've only said it to
I'm hearing from my inside Big Warwick sources. I
Is
have
that
the
what we're
underground
hearing
network.
from?
Like that's all I'm gonna say. I'm hearing a Brig ban for Team It's Unknown, which seems a bit odd to me on Ilios. I mean, I'm pretty incompetent when it comes
Yeah,
to
they have
understanding
banned
the game.
Rig.
But
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think?
I think they just want to play that Lucio Juno or Lucio Kiri, and I think they want to take away. They probably saw Team Yuki playing the Juno Brig against Andreas' team or Team Kanaf, and I think they just want to, I think maybe they want to, they want to play the dive with the Tracer Genji, and Brig is like one of the strongest options against that, and especially on Ilios, if you remove the Brig, dive becomes so much so much more potent as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Team Yuki bans in response. Of course, they can't ban a support. They have to ban a DPS or tank. Now, whether they know that they have a Genji and Tracer player, whether they know the enemy has that, it might be a ban like that. But Chief also likes the Genji and the Tracer, so they might be against that. I think we might see a tank ban come out here. Yeah, I think we might see a tank ban come through. Okay, I'll pressure them along so we can.
Yes, let's see. I'm interested. I'm worried in a way that this Brig ban. Yes, you said absolutely to stop something like a dive, which can be pretty good, of course. Ilios, Lighthouse, etc. Could this ban be too early on the Brig? You know, this is our first map. We've already banned probably one of the most important heroes for a team It's Unknown to ban as a team. Is it too fast?
I think maybe. Well, yeah, you could say that because like Ilios is already a good dive map. Do you really need to make it that much stronger? You could save the Brig ban for maybe a hybrid or an escort map where like you still want to play your composition, and then Brig is still really strong on those map types, right? Whereas and dive is really hard on those maps. So to make it easy, you might want to do something on that. They banned Hazard. Interesting.
Hazard. Okay,
they might be wanting to play a monkey comp.
So we might be seeing, maybe we see a monkey mirror, but I believe it might also be time to finally go to our casters. So we're going to be leaving you here. I'm going to hop into Warwick channel, so if you want to come join me and watch, feel free to do so. We can have a good yap, and then you can come join me on the desk later. But we're going to head to our casters. We're going to join Spec and Hellgloom, and we will see you in a bit. Enjoy the match. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
We finally got rid of those two, didn't we? What's up, guys? Spectrum here, Hellgloom, that side of me. We're here, the final of the unNUELable All-Stars Draft Tournament. It's been confusing. It's been long. It's been a little bit longer than maybe we would have wanted, but we should be here to finish things out. The finale going to be a best of 7 of first to 4 between Team It's Unknown and a team that everyone pegged as being, I mean, kind of ass cheeks, right? They got Mr. 530k, Fake Nevix himself, Volts are going for comparatively steal at 250. The rest of the team probably could afford, like, I don't know, a meal deal between the three of them. And then Team Yuki, one of the favorites probably heading into this with loads of strong players. Chief, you know, one of the best flex DPS we got in the university kind of circuit. Azo, a strong tank in his own right. Yuki, of course, the captain. Finfun J, a multiple-time runner-up of NSC Newell. I believe he's won it once or twice as well. Like, this should, you know, on paper be a pretty one-sided game, but somehow we managed to get to these two teams being the ones left over.
Yeah, and I mean, especially It's Unknown's team being currently, I think, flawless in their games. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting, especially since, I mean, they will have had to have played the team that Team Yuki has lost to. So, based on the fact that they won that game, there's a possibility there. So we'll have to look forward and see what happens. It should be a pretty solid game regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, of course, we've seen the map pick and the first bans come through. Has ban is pretty standard. They figure that Nevix is a pretty good hazard, and they're totally wrong. The Brig ban is also pretty reasonable. If there was a dive, then the Brig would be annoying. It is one of Yuki's best heroes, and he can't play that anymore, so he's forced to play the Lucio. I'm assuming Nevix is going to start on... Not sure, actually. Normally he's not known for his dive tanks, right? He's a player who is a little bit more commonly on these ground tanks, your Malgas, your Reinhardts, your Rams of the world. And when you are playing Ilios, especially Ilios well, they're maybe not all the same. Also, make sure you're not just listening to us, make sure you're reading the chat as well, because... I mean, you see, these players are going to be going at it, especially Nevix and Yuki, probably. They love chatting as much shit as humanly possible, so they're going to be doing that all throughout this game.
What we love to see. I mean, looking like we're getting pretty close to ready here. I'm sure there's a few troll picks on both sides. I mean, I don't think we're seeing a Wrecking Ball versus a Roadhog here, but, I mean, you never know. We can always hope. I mean... well famously known for being a good Roadhog map. Looks like we're gonna have Azo swapping to the Orisa here instead now. Fake Nevix sticking on that ball as Chief is going to swap to the Genji there.
Poking both back and forth. That's going to be that for the beginning of this battle. I mean, it's known. It's about getting on a target. Team Yuki probably just want to find someone to cast her down and hope somebody steps out of line.
Yeah, I mean, Fake Nevix just kind of rolling through them. Not really much happening at the moment. Just a little bit of poke, a little bit of exchange of cooldowns. Rizward gets picked off really early by lucky shot by Finn. Azo following up with a spear onto It's Unknown, as the rest of Team Blue looks like they will be getting cleaned up here. Misaki gets a pick onto Joby as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Booga has been, chatting a lot of smack about how strong he is as a coach on this roster, but I gotta say, I'm not sure I'm loving this strat to start things off. Team Yuki winning a very comfortable first fight win.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just, your feed is also kind of dying, no?
Yeah, it's kind of dying a little bit. Currently, right now, I mean, Team Yuki with the point still, 20% on, but, I mean, it looks like it's just gotten recapped, actually, by Team It's Unknown here. Now, time is ticking towards the other side. It's Unknown getting traded for Yukino. Volta getting the pick onto Yukino. They're a bit of a Lucio diff, as Fake Nivix will get a pick onto Chief as well. Here, clock still ticking in the favor of Team It's Unknown, as Misaki will get picked off. Finn as well. Volta getting a double kill here, as the rest of that fight will be cleaned up now.
Indeed it will. It's going to be a lead garnered pretty early on by Team It's Unknown. Seems like the first fight was a bit of a slip up on their part. Now they're set up. Now they've got their defensive positioning. It's going to be super, super strong with them. They're probably just going to go for a Minds engage. See if Team Yuki will be able to survive that with the beat.
Yeah, it looks like Nevix is going to be rolling in now here. Doesn't fire out the minefield just yet.
Indeed not. Rolling around, the stun onto Nevix makes it awkward. Yukino, the first player to fall. You've got to back out then if your team It's Unknown, but Volta goes to the rebeat.
Finn does pull out that Kitsune Rush, but of course Yukino is dead here. Volta with that beat as a counter. Looks like it worked out quite well, as Misaki has dropped as well. It's Unknown Chief does get a lucky pick onto It's Unknown here, as the fight was looking in the favor of Team Yuki. I can't speak today. Team It's Unknown. Minefield coming out from Fake Nevix here, denying a lot of space on that point. But it looks like it won't really matter too much, as they're just going to wait it out.
I mean, just waiting for some sort of opportunity right now is Team It's Unknown. They don't have to go early, but they'd like it if they will. Team Yuki's really low, actually. Oh, what a kill from Joby.
Nice pick. Fake Nevix does get picked off as well by Misaki, though. Juno ult coming out from Rizward, as Joby will drop. Azo pulling out that Terra Surge. Doesn't get any picks with it, but is allowed to live. Copy on to Orisa from It's Unknown here, as it looks like the fight is going in the favor of Team Yuki here.
Yeah, they managed to find this flip, and all is said and done, but they're going to have to be perfect now for 2.5 fights. Just to take well. Of course, 99% this last fight territory makes it sort of tricky. They do have the OC. They're getting closer to this Kitsune Rush, and their opponents are relatively skinned. That means that this next fight should be relatively in their favor.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just almost getting a pick there onto Misaki, but fortunately... Oh, getting a crazy stick! Joby gets a crazy stick onto both Finn and Misaki. Volta also getting a pick onto Chief. This is looking really bad for Team Yuki here, as it looks like the rest of the team will just get cleaned up here. No one left to touch. Overtime, 99%, as it will tick down. First tick of Ilios will go to Team It's Unknown.
Yeah, first blood drawn in this first 2-4 series. It is relatively competitive. 100 to 61%, but when all is said and done, then it seems like we have a front runner here for this game. Okay, we'll see if that's going to continue, if that is going to be a, like I said, a trend heading forwards. Yeah. This comp is going to be really awkward, realistically. It's going to be a little bit better when you're on Ruins, when you're on these longer sight lines, but Ball here is still going to be super, super strong. The disruption that Nevix can find on point and around it is going to be a deep source of annoyance for Yuki, for Finn, for the rest. And Azo is back on his one trick on that Junker Queen. Easier to poke out, has a little bit less poke. But in exchange, you just have much more close-range kill power. We'll see if this is enough to disrupt Team It's Unknown, or whether they'll be just continuing their winning ways.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, Team It's Unknown always getting there much faster with that much higher mobility double double speed supports and that Wrecking Ball, of course, they'll get set up first, be in position to roll through here, which looks like is going to be happening here, as blows are being just traded. No one actually getting picked off just yet.
Yeah, Misky will be allowed to back for now. Point possession taken by Team Yuki, which is kind of okay for them, especially as Nevix just overextends. They're going to get this cap. You can't fight in if you are the rest of Team It's Unknown, so you're just forced to back out. He's going down makes this awkward, so once Nevix is back and back on one of his own comfort heroes, this Orisa, then if I'm Team Yukino, again, my back's up against the wall.
Yeah, it's pretty good trade there, though, to be honest, from It's Unknown getting that pick onto Chief there. Although Chief will be back here very shortly. It's Unknown does get picked off by Azo here as well. Really nice knife. As it looks like Team It's Unknown will press the S key a little bit here, back off and wait for a little bit of a better opportunity to engage.
That's a big mistake.
Kind of just letting Misaki take these sorts of massive high charge rails into their backline here. Not much you can really do about that on Orisa.
Alright, so no. Misaki's in this deep angle, 4-charge railgun. A pick could be a possibility at any time, but unfortunately that spot's on a timer. As the rest of Team It's Unknown begin to walk up, then Misaki has to back out to save their lives. Joby forces the point. That pulse one was bold at the best of times, and nothing's going to be garnered for it.
Been popping out that Kitsune rush here. Able to get a lot of pressure onto Team It's Unknown here. Force them back away from the point. What is final fight territory here for Team Yuki, as It's Unknown will go down with the copy used as well.
Yeah, really quite unfortunate here. Just hitting the ground running was Azo and Co. 90% left to go. They're finding all these exit frags. I'm assuming that there's very little chance that there's going to be any sort of elder flip from Team It's Unknown. Volta should be able to get OT started. He's got a beat to live for a little while. Will he even be able to cast it? Absolutely not.
As it looks like point number 2 will go to Team Yuki, getting us to a third point of Ilios on Ruins. And now you were mentioning before that the sort of poke of Team, I believe it's Team Yuki's comp, could be a lot stronger here, especially with Misaki on that Sojourn. So I think that could be quite important to look at here, as the Fake Nevix is going to go back onto that Wrecking Ball, and hopefully we'll see what they can do. I think
we shall have to wait and see. One thing I was going to talk about as maybe a threat towards Team Yukino is the chance that they roll out on this Queen versus the Orisa, and then just totally get ruined on the frontline trade. That's not going to happen. Again, we start with the Queen v Bull. Obviously, Nevix didn't want to opt into this last time, but maybe on Ruins, it's a different story.
Might just be the map that Nevix is more comfortable on. Although, any kind of value is just getting denied there by Yukino.
Oh!
Nice knife from Azo onto Volta, gets an early pick. As focus immediately put onto Rizward here, who is going to get forced out as well. Finn gets picked off by Joby and Nevix in the backline. As Rizward will finally go down now. Team It's Unknown has only Volta for healing. Going to put them in a little bit of a tough spot here.
Joby picked off. 15% left to go. Oh, they're going to get more as well. Nevix isolated, 17 HP, now 0. As Azo's primary fire is going to be enough to eliminate him. And it's really quite awkward, but we kind of see here, it's again Team Yuki, getting the lead here, getting this first fight. And it's Team It's Unknown who have to battle back from behind, something that they've struggled to do in the past.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think maybe round 1 was a bit of a wake-up call for Yukino. Quite literally. Chief gets picked off by Joby here. Suzu being forced by Finn here. Beat coming out from Yukino here, just to deny any kind of pick onto Finn there. Misaki does get picked off by Volta though. Joby gets traded though by Finn. Oh, Finn also drops now as well. as it looks like the rest of Team Yuki is going to get cleaned up here.
That
Just
it
Chief
will.
left.
And now nobody, right? So
Now
finally
nobody.
a flip has been found. It's a slight difference from what we saw in that previous, and at 77%, we're not quite last fight territory, right? You know, if we see a push come through, if there's going to be a flip, then Fake Novix and Co will be able to fight one more time. So they found a hold at a pretty comfortable point, but now they've got to figure out how they're going to deal with the ults that Team Yukino have arrayed.
Absolutely. I mean, they do have a lot of tools at their disposal here. Speaking of which, Pulse Bomb coming out doesn't get much. Both Tracers get a Pulse Bomb off. No picks from either side. Finn and Misaki get dropped. As Azo's just trying to hang on for dear life. Unfortunately, it will not be enough as It's Unknown will clean them up. Really clean fight from them. Only using one ult. Especially
And they get the opponent's
Finn
Kitsu out as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Really
So
nice
very
run.
very efficient use of the ults, especially since they had 5 at their disposal. It takes a lot of discipline to only use one ult in a fight like that.
Now the ult cycle is going to be pretty weird for both teams. We'll see how It's Unknown try and invest here, because keeping that ult cycle up is how they're going to bring it back here on Ruins.
Absolutely, yeah. Fake Nevix still in their backline. Ooh, picks are coming out from Team Yuki here. This is their push. They get 3. It's just Nevix and Rizward. Rizward in a bit of trouble here. Gets picked off as well. It's just Nevix left to stall the point. It is 70 to 77 though. So it was a pretty good hold so far, as Fake Nevix will go down. But they still have those 4 ults. However, it looks like Team Yuki is also getting close on those ults as well here. So this could be a very, very ult-filled final fight.
I mean, assuming if we just go into the ult trade, then it's probably going to end up being slightly better for Team Yukino, but it's just too close to tell right now. A Pulse Bomb here would be absolutely pristine, but if nobody can hit the necessary shot, then that pick might just not come through.
Quino coming out, Blade coming out from Joby as well as the Orbital Ray from Rizward. Clean up picks from Team It's Unknown, as they will win the fight with 2 ults.
Not the end of the world for Team Yuki, but it's not how you wanted that to go. Yuki doesn't Ajax, which is always nice to see. He's still got the sound barrier to mirror out Voltzers, and you can go in with your own DPS ults, which should be a little bit stronger. This fight is still going to be incredibly hard, and the disruption that we're seeing Nevix find on this ball is just unmatched.
There it is, and the beat coming out from Yukino and Volta at the same time. Overclock coming out from Misaki here. Pulse Bomb from Chief doesn't get any picks, gets picked off instead.
Oh.
Minefield coming out from Fake Nevix as well. Misaki gets a pick on the Rizward, as Chief will also go down. Kitsune Rush coming out here from Finn, as Pulse Bomb from It's Unknown doesn't get any picks. It could go either way right now, but it looks like Team It's Unknown is quite low and is struggling to keep Fake Nevix up. However, the Minefield comes in clutch, gets a pick onto Finn, as It's Unknown picks off Misaki as well. It's just Chief left to stall the point out. I don't think there's much that Chief can do here, as the point will go to Team It's Unknown, as well as the map.
There we go, 2-1 fashion. It's able to be about as competitive as can, but
That was a very good map 1, to be honest.
it was very, very entertaining. But when all said and done, then Nevix and Co are able to take the first map of this series, a quarter of the way to being the draft tournament champions. But
Yeah,
they've still got plenty more maps left to go, right? They've still got plenty more Overwatch left to play. So by no means, is this game finished. Team Yuki have plenty of time to rejig their bans, perhaps, and to get right back in. Remember, this time it was Brigitte and Hazard who were banned. Now that Hazard ban no longer going to be in Team Yukino's playbook, and that is a really big one, right? But flip side of things, Yuki can be on his other comfort pick.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting to see a lot of the DPS shining, especially on Team It's Unknown side there. I mean, as the arguably weaker in terms of ranks DPS lineup, I think they did pretty well. I think they performed pretty well. I've been saying this the whole tournament. These Masters players should not be slept on, and I think that is exactly why. I mean, It's Unknown coming out with some really clean ults, as well as Joby as well, of course, hitting some really nice plays. It's always good to see. I mean, it just shows that rank isn't everything in a tournament setting like this. We're we're just currently waiting on hopefully to see what the next maps might be, as well as the next bans. But I mean, what are your thoughts on what we might see next for maps and bans maybe as well?
In terms of bans, it seems like Team Internet have more than a couple ones they can go towards. The main bans I'm thinking about for them would be like Lucio and Queen, right? You've got Azo and you've got Yuki, who are the quote-unquote good players on that team. You might as well just make their lives more uncomfortable. You know, you can also go for target bans on like Kiri Juno if you want to restrict the tank a little bit more, but that's also meaning you have to back your DPS in certain situations. So that's one ban through. Yuki has banned Lucio.
Interesting. I mean, I'd see it work. I mean, Volta is known for being a Lucio player, so that could be quite a big ban. But of course, it goes both ways. Yukino does also play that Lucio, and is also Lucio is also quite a big piece of kit in the toolbox. And it looks like we will be going to King's Row, I believe that is. So it's going to be interesting to see King's Row without a Lucio, but I'm sure they'll make it work. So we're just waiting for Team It's Unknown to come out with their ban. What are we thinking here, especially now that we know the map is King's Row?
Queen. No, to make it weird. Yeah, like just take away Azo's Queen. He has to play like Orisa. Nevix is going to be comfortable in the Orisa mirror. That's what I would do, at least. Right? Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Just force the frontline trade. Figure you're going to win that most times. So that's exactly how I'd look at it.
Yeah, it looks like Team It's Unknown wants to attack first here as well. So we will be swapping around the teams, getting everything sorted there. As we still wait for their ban. I think the Queen ban is definitely a good suggestion for them. We'll see what they do.
Indeed. See if they actually end up committing to it. Of course, Nevix has gone for the attacking first. It does mean they're going to have to get. It's attack first. It doesn't really matter. So we'll see. I'm going to disappear for a little bit. Oh, Cass is interesting, but I'll be back in a little bit. Matt's going to take over for me.
Sounds good. Hello.
Hello. I'm taking over? Question mark.
You're taking over, I think. I think that's what's happening.
You can't get away from me. That's the thing. Everyone thinks, oh, thank God that stupid idiot has left the screen. Oh, we get to relax. We have Spec and we have Hellgloom instead. We can relax. We can enjoy ourselves. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You think I can get away with not having enough screen time? Not a chance. I need to be on screen every possible moment I can get. Anyway, that map was hella close. Oh my goodness, 999.
I mean. What can I say? It was, I think both teams had their strengths, and it was shown in the previous maps with Well and with completely forgotten what the other map is on Ilios. Lighthouse, that's the one. There we go. Yep. And then really on that final map on Ruins, it was really, I think, just that last fight there with, honestly, I would say the mines from Fake Nevix were really really quite valuable, especially, I think Finn walking into them was quite a helpful thing for sure for Team It's Unknown. But yeah, the Cass ban, this is an interesting one. I'm not sure why. I guess it makes sense in the fact that you're probably going to be playing a Brawl mirror here, and I'd say that Cass is probably a little better in a close range sort of situation than in a than an Ashe would be, for example. But yeah,
I look at the Cass ban, right, and I think back to what happened the last time these two teams played, and particularly played on King's Row. And I remember Misaki getting some dirty little picks, particularly on third point. So maybe there's an expectation that we could stop that from happening again and get that 2-0 lead, which would be really interesting. Let's see what happens. I'm very interested. I wonder. What was the other ban exactly? It was Lucio, wasn't it? So
Lucio, yeah.
Maybe we see some Malga now. Let's see.
It could be. We could definitely see some Malga here, yeah. Especially with the, Juno being our main source of speed here now. But we could also see Azo come out on that Junker Queen again. Could be quite interesting. We'll just have to see. I've just realized as well, you are currently not on screen. We have me casting with Spectrion's chair.
Yes, indeed. I am Spectrion's chair.
It seems that Matt Murray has inhabited the spirit of Spectrion's chair, and is casting from there. But
Well, here's the thing, right? I was initially in Egda's walls. That's where I was spending most of my time.
see.
And then I sort of migrated to his PC, and then I blew up his PC, so he couldn't cast today. And then I'm now inhabiting Spectron's chair, and then I'm gonna blow up Spectron's chair, so he has nowhere to
This
sit.
is how the
And then it's just gonna be me and you left. Exactly,
I see.
exactly. So you just need to watch out because there's a very good
Yeah.
chance that I'm gonna be finding
Oh,
my
no.
way to, I don't know, where maybe in the cat ears or something. I'll start like popping
Yeah,
out the cat ears.
essentially.
That,
I mean,
that might be the way.
have a spare pair if you you need them.
Let's see about that one. Yes, we're here. We're here. King's Row.
Fake Nevix already starting off with a bit of intimidation, saying Yukino, don't get nervous. As it looks like, yeah, we will be seeing that Mauga on Team It's Unknown side with Fake Nevix on that. I'm assuming the Lifeweaver is a troll pick, or just to get people up onto that high ground here. Oh, looks like no, we will be swapping to the Orisa now.
I was gonna say, because you said the Mauga, right? But the Mauga is what Team Yuki was playing. Team It's Unknown, they've been sat on the Hazard or sat on the Orisa or the Bull. But Team Yuki, they are on the Mauga. It took time. Ace was thinking about it, but they are on the Juno Brig. That's the classic. I still think, no matter the adaptations that It's Unknown Team It's Unknown have made, which is obviously the Echo, right? Despite these adaptations, I still think this is looking really good for Team Yuki.
I would agree, yeah. As it looks like we are about to go in 1 second. No shots from Joby on the Widow there. Immediate quick swap back to the Reaper.
Yeah, look at these adaptations. That's exactly what they want. You've even got Volta on Baptiste here to try and sustain a little bit longer. And I suppose without the Lucio, what else does Volta play?
True. As both sides are just going to be exchanging a little bit of fire here, building those ults. Nothing really hard engaging yet. Mauga pulling that shout there. Pick onto Joby happens. Yukino does get traded for it. Volta's lamp goes down as looks like Azo's just gonna back up a bit here. Respect a bit of that pick onto Yukino there. I mean, of course, that will definitely weaken the team. As it looks like Nevix is just gonna walk onto the point here, taking a really wide angle, really trying to defend his own backline here. Quite a lot. Of course, Azo on the Mauga, just kind of melting through anything in his way. It's Unknown goes down, as Nevix looks like they're in a little bit of trouble as well. Gets picked. Rizward also going down, as it looks like it's just cleanup time for Team It's Unknown here. Sorry, for Team Yuki, sorry.
Well, I was halfway through that fight, and then my everything seems to be sort of stopping and starting. I mean, what I saw was an interesting Misaki getting a great first pick, but Yuki in the middle of nowhere just falling over. I mean, I still think Team It's Unknown, they've made great compositional changes, and they're coming up to this Juno ult. It's going to be matched, of course, by Finn, but if It's Unknown can get a really good copy as well, this could be a good fight. It's the important fight here to win.
This is that. Like, Big Pulse gets a stick onto Fake Nevix, biggest target in the game. Rizward gets picked off. It's Unknown gets picked off. Azo gets traded though, as Joby will go down here. Of course, it's now only a race against the clock. Spawn waves are going to be in the favor of Team It's Unknown here. So Azo, if they can hold on for Azo to get back, Team Yuki might have a chance here. But it looks like Fake Nevix is just going to walk straight onto the point here and immediately start capping again. Yukino getting caught out in a really awkward spot. Terra Surge comes out, gets a pick onto Yukino. As Volta's lamp just keeps everyone alive inside of Hotel. Overclock coming out from Misaki. As Finn and Rizward both pop those orbital rays. Azo goes down. Misaki goes down. It looks like, although Volta gets traded for it, it looks like Team It's Unknown will cap the point.
Yeah, they finally got through. They made the most of that Juno Ray. Again, I barely saw any of the fight, so I'm going to be talking out my ass for this. But Team Yuki, somehow, I mean, you're going to have to explain it to me. How on earth did they lose that with all those ultimates online?
I mean, I think there was just a lack of pressing the Q button there, honestly, if I to break it down to anything. I mean, we saw It's Unknown pop that copy, and we saw that Terra Surge get a really good pick on the Yukino before Rally could ever come out. Of course, the Juno ults were mirrored, so there wasn't really any point in investing anything else if you were already down your Brig there. As speaking of break, Yukino will pop that rally. People get a massive pulse bomb cleaning up the back line for Team It's Unknown. Reroll from Joby gets no one, as it looks like the rest of Team It's Unknown will get cleaned up here by that insane pulse bomb by Chief. Once again, really showing why Chief was worth that money.
Chief, you dirty man. I mean, it was funny because I was talking about this in the chat room about how Joby was really proving himself to be almost a better tracer on Ilios. But here we go, Chief now, when he hasn't got that opposition, he's the one sort of dictating the pace of the tracer gameplay, and that was beautiful from him last fight.
I feel like Joby has moments of brilliance. I feel like Chief just is a little bit less consistent on those moments of brilliance, but when Chief shines way brighter. Cage coming out here from Azo. Terra Surge coming out as a mirror from Fake Nevix here. Gets a huge chunk of damage. Rizward does drop in the crossfire though. As Volta will also go down here. Once again, Team It's Unknown's backline going down. It's Unknown getting that copy onto Misaki there. Doesn't manage to get anything in time as well. The rest.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the investment of the copy there. That looked a little bit late in the fight. Switching over to the Mauga now, so going to go for the match. I would always sort of put my money into Team Yuki though in this matchup. Volta,
sure.
he's there of course on the Baptiste, but I just think Team Yuki, the supports in helping the Mauga is so important. Chief, surely not. Chief, come on. We could get a little cheeky pick here onto Edward. He's 99% to his ultimate here. I want to see a cheeky pulse bomb.
Rizard and Finn mirroring those Juno ults again. As Yukino gets picked off really early. Finn also drops as well there, so this time it's Team Yuki's backline dying first. Chief gets picked off as well, though. Volta gets traded. Misaki does die as well as Azo, as the rest of Team Yuki will drop. A fight win for Team It's Unknown, who will now finally get some payload progress going.
Yeah, but we're coming down to, under a minute now. Chief switches over to the Genji as well, so that could be an interesting switch. I mean, realistically, when the Mauga's happening, Tracer's going to be doing very little damage, so maybe the Genji's got a little bit more firepower in there, particularly getting more deadly kills.
Also, that reflect into a Mauga shout is incredibly strong. Just denies a lot of healing. As it looks like it's final fight for second point here. Cage coming out from Azo, Rally coming out from Yukino here at the same time. Looks like not many picks get taken, but it does force Team It's Unknown to retreat a bit. Copy coming out from It's Unknown onto Mauga. Yukino gets stomped by a double Mauga. Misaki gets cleaned up by It's Unknown as well, as Joby pops that Reaper ult. Cage coming out from the Mauga copy, as it's just Chief and Finn holding on to the point here, as they will get cleaned up, and the point will continue progressing forwards. Looking at those ults, it's looking pretty alright on both sides, to be honest. I mean, Finn getting close to that orbital ray is quite big, but Fake Nevix already with that cage could bring some pain here.
Yeah, I mean, Never Saying was a C9, not really, was it? They pretty much sort of already lost as soon as you got two Maugas running into your backline head first, like charging Bufalon. But here we are, Fake Nevix, he does drop the cage immediately, and he gets the first kill to Azo, and that's going to be enough. Joby picking up the rest of the kills. That was a very clean, very efficient ult as well, fight win. And Edward, look at that, he's coming up to the next ultimate. It's going to be another Juno Ray for Juno Ray matchup.
Yeah, and just pointing out, Joby getting a kill onto Misaki in Misaki's spawn. That is, I won't say embarrassing, but it is unfortunate. Both, as you said, both teams getting their orbital rays coming out. Chief with the blade here, gets a pick onto Volta. Finn gets traded. Yukino also down here. They have no supports. Azo goes down. This is looking like the end for Team Yuki here, as it looks like Team It's Unknown will cap with 15 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, with time. That is not good.
Very important.
As much as I may dislike what Fake Nevix types in chat, he is correct in this case. It is the Team Yuki comp. They've sort of found a way to make it even better, particularly with the Reaper. I mean, it must be tough for Azo to live when he's facing such a huge amount of damage in the front line. But yeah,
it's also interesting to see that map as well.
True.
Honestly, that lamp has saved so many lives so far. I mean, I've seen in the kill feed, I've just seen multiple of Team Yuki die, and all I see is Team It's Unknown's Lamp just dying in exchange. So it definitely has been doing a lot. It's just interesting to see how it's working over the break here in this composition.
And as my stream continues to die a little bit more, we've got the team compositions up, and I'm going to pass over to our esteemed guest who has returned, Spectron. Why don't you talk us through a little bit of these compositions, and I will head on.
Listen, as soon as I leave to go into Amalgamera, I knew I was the person keeping this ship steering straight. But listen, when all said and done, finished with 15 seconds in the bank, it's not too bad at all for the aggressing team. Now see if they can replicate that feat on the other side of things. That's the big question, ain't it? In terms of the comps, really... I mean, the Genji Sojin helps you poke for more. Generally, I'd say the same with this backline, but you probably just want to go for the hard brawl if you're in the Nevix team. If you're Team Yuki, you're probably looking for a kite. And they're looking to extend play for a little bit longer. I hope that Mitsuki and Chief can find you just a mechanical pick.
Looks like Azo is just going to rush straight through Hotelier, immediately put a bunch of pressure on, and then try and disengage. Gets to use the shout a bit later. Volta's Lamp, once again, providing a bit of value there, trying to keep Nevix alive.
Will last for now at least, but with Yuki going down, it makes it so much harder.
Yeah. As it looks like Finn will also follow up here. Nevix in a little bit of trouble, is going to stay alive thanks to that healing from Rizward and Volta, as they're going to repel that initial attack.
Yeah, unfortunately, anytime Azo tries to actually like heavy brawl, then Volta does more damage and more healing than Yukino, right? Yuki is good at marking this flank, but in my opinion, in a matchup like this, the break doesn't actually provide a crazy amount of value. It is his comfort pick though, so I don't expect him to go into a bat to mirror out Volta, but it is a maybe counterweight, right? A handicap that Team Yukino are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, copy coming out from It's Unknown on to Mauga here. Double Mauga Stomp once again. We saw this last round. It's terrifying. As Chief is going to just try and reflect as much of that Mauga shout as possible, as It's Unknown's copy will go down. Window coming out from Volta here. He's just going to provide more pressure as Chief will get picked off.
We Ray?
Finn is going to drop that Ray. Rizward's going to hold onto that Ray in hopes that they can survive this one, and it looks like they will. Meaning that they have a Ray for next fight. This is a little scary, but I mean, if you're looking at those ults, it's looking pretty good for Team Yuki here. Rally coming out from Yukino here, as it looks like the Railgun or Overclock from Misaki will also come out here, getting picks, cleaning up a lot of Team It's Unknown, as the rest will fall here, and they will get the point.
I think Team It's Unknown weren't really ready for that consistent reinvestment, right? They probably were assuming they could use those, as you mentioned, in that next fight, but just using the rally to extend, walking in with the OC, they didn't really have a plan for that, and so it's a pretty decent time bank that they've got themselves. Not the same as what their opponents had, of course, but they're in a pretty decent spot to about mirror out the opponent's time bank when all is said and done.
And there's that Juno ult coming out from Wizard here, wanting to push that probably quite early, just so that they make sure that the delay between the two Juno ults isn't too crazy. Doesn't really get much of an effect, but it does repel them a little bit.
Indeed. Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more after that, realistically. Yeah, they had the opening pick, but with the respawn so close, then you'd really rather let your opponents walk in, as indeed they're doing now.
Cage coming out from Azo. Blade coming out from Chief. Also, Cage and Reaper ult coming out from Team It's Unknown, as Chobi will get a triple kill. Chief will get a pick onto Volta, but it looks like Team It's Unknown will clean up the rest of the fight here, with another copy coming out onto a Mauga there. So that was a 3 ult investment from Team It's Unknown.
Oh, that's really expensive for both teams, but the Team It's Unknown maybe spent a little bit too much there. Right now, just if you are kind of Team Yuki, but okay, we've got control of the bot. We've got our own orbital ray coming up before yours. We're just gonna walk at you and Ray, and as long as Volta doesn't get window on a really long sight line, you can kind of just win with it.
Yeah, there it is. As you said, the Ray coming out. Volta doesn't even have that window yet, so they're gonna be in trouble. They do manage to back out, trading only Volta's lamp, but they have put themselves in a really awkward position here now.
Surely they just go for the offensive with it. Exactly what Volta wants here. Wants the sightline back. Azo slammed up and has to pop the cardiac to back out. We use the rally for it, but we're just trading ults back and forth. Nobody is actually going to die because both teams are just so cautious.
Ah, Mauga meta, my beloved. No one's dying, as there goes Rizward's orbital ray coming out here, as it looks like finally people are going to be dying, as it looks like Team Yuki will have to back off here.
That they will, but honestly, going tank for, what, 1 DPS, 1 support, I wouldn't mind reinvesting there. Not that Team Yuki end up doing that, but it would not be a bad decision whatsoever. That Azo is still just staying on that cart, and with Fake Nevix having to finally walk back, then they just got some free push off it. Now they've got OC sightlines, they've got Cage as well. This is not too bad at all for Team Yuki.
Really not, yeah. I mean, we do have to look as well. There is that copy coming out, as it immediately comes out from It's Unknown in reaction to that overclock. Misaki getting a pick onto Fultza's lamp, and gets a pick onto Joby here. Cage coming out from It's Unknown's Mauga copy, keeping a big amount of zone in. However, it's now over. Cage coming out from Azo and Fake Nevix at the same time. However, Finn has that orbital ray, which is just going to give them so much more damage and survivability up against Team It's Unknown, and they will clean up the fight, tapping second.
And in the end, it is when they go over this kind of double flex stuff that they find success, right? Yuki obviously no longer on that Brigitte, now on that Kiriko. You've got more damage and more healing, and a better ult split as well in terms of your raw damage. Of course, you won't be able to match up the sheer value of an orbital wraith. You can, but you still have a very decent chance of swinging the odds in your favor. It's going to be a Kitsu Blade combo they're going to open up this next fight with. As long as they don't get Blossom, they should be still favoring Team Yuki.
Fake Nevix looking quite low here, as the window will come out from Volta here. Kitsune Rush coming out from Yukino. Chief pulling that blade. Fake Nevix will go down. Rizwer will go down. Volta will go down. And Joby will go down. It's Unknown finishing it off, as it looks like Team Yuki will finish this map with 2 minutes and 25 seconds, or 1 minute and 25 seconds on the point, I believe, on the time bank, I believe.
Minute 25 is faster, so it'll be a minute 40 that they finish with, because their opponents finished with 15 seconds.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So, they're in the end.
Yeah, it looks looking pretty good for Team Yuki here now, especially since it was looking so good for Team It's Unknown to begin with. Now it will be a little bit more difficult for them to do anything with 1 minute compared to 2 minutes 25. It is a lot of time, but I mean, it is a lot of time, but it's not a sort of, how would you put it? It's a win. It's an amount of time that can definitely be beaten by 1 minute for sure. That's what I'm
The thing is, right, with OT in particular, having a lot of time is almost like a downside, right? You want your opponents to have low time, and then them to defend first, and then you have high time. Because remember, once you actually get into these overtimes, winning a fight in overtime is more valuable than winning a fight in regulation.
Yeah.
Because you win a fight in overtime, they get the OT spawns. You realistically get like 1 fight out of second, for example. So a map that's like 6 fights to finish ends up being, 3 or 4. Flip side of things, though, obviously you want more time to be able to actually get those fights in. So it is most definitely a double-edged sword, and a strong attack here from the side of It's Unknown could well spell the end of Team Yukino, no matter how much time they've got in the bank, but they actually have to get that strong attack going.
This is very true, yeah. As it looks like they'll stick with what was working last round for Team Yuki here, with Yukino on that Kiri instead.
No reason not to. Realistically, the carry was working out for them. As you mentioned, they might see a hit onto the backline. The Aza's got very accurate here. We're forced to exchange cardiacs, and I'm not quite sure that's worth it.
Yeah. As it looks like Fake Nevix will just run into their backline, but is now in a lot of trouble. Chief with that reflect, doing a lot of damage there to Fake Nevix. As Fake Nevix is just going to have to try and pin out and try and live, but will not survive a second reflect from Chief.
Speaking of Chief, he's trying to get involved. It is traded out by Joby. As long as this, it's not the end of the world, right? There's still 2 people left. They're going to get staggered out. And even though normally we'd start talking about how the spawns are so close, it don't matter. We're in OT. The backline's just been staggered. This should, by all means, be going in favor of Team Yukino as a full hold. But there could still be a miracle. We'll see if anyone gets that retouch. And yes, they will. The respawns will be there, but Nevic's going down. So with Rizwood, yeah, that's it. There's a no tick given over. 2.5 minutes now needed to cap just 1 tick. All you got to do is bank up ults. Your opponents don't have that same luxury, right? They've got to invest as many as it takes to keep on holding. This is going to be tricky.
It really is. I mean, drawable still, but very doubtfully. So, I mean, once that swap to the Kiriko kind of came through, you could really see Team Yuki absolutely just start dominating the fights. And so we'll probably see that continue to happen unless Team It's Unknown changes something up here. Getting a nice close-up onto Mondata's head.
Old ass. But no, we'll see if we see anything different here. It don't look like it. They've got this strat cooked up, and they've decided not to go against the Booga coaching by the looks of things. It's still the same. It's still very, very frontline focus, but it's not always working out for them because, I mean, Azo's just kind of dodging the frontline trade wherever he can, and when he recognizes the comp is split, they're not all positioned to punish him. Then he goes in. Then he puts the screws to Nevix, and that's when Mr. Smith himself is under a little bit more pressure than maybe he'd want. 10 seconds left to go, and by this point, you'll be absolutely, totally surprised to know that nobody's changed comps here in the 4th round of play. And don't get nervous, spam has started here, folks.
Once again, trying to use psychological warfare tactics here. Not seeming to be working very much, though. Oh, pause coming out. Call for pause. Successfully called there. Hopefully not anything too serious. Ooh, as we are, as Rizward is very happy to have caught that pause really quickly.
It was pretty
prior
fast.
spacing. It was very fast. It was looks like it was an issue with frames for Azo. Azo on 15 frames per second. Not really where you want to be, especially with all the particles around.
The human brain can only see 30 FPS, so it doesn't even really matter.
That's true.
I'm messing around. I know it's not like that.
I know.
See, the railgun connects, it does, but no headshot means that everyone's still pretty healthy. But Team Yuki already a big advantage as they forced everybody into hotel.
Yeah, being pushed into a corner, not really what you want to have happen here. As Fake Nevix is going to try and make a change to that there. Pinning out and just forcing Team Yuki back as much as possible.
One shot.
Ooh, Volta gets picked by Chief. As Rizard will fall as well. It is a no support lineup here for Team It's Unknown now, as Chief will get traded for it though. Volta swapping to the Kiriko to hopefully get back fast, as it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Team Yuki will take map 2.
It was relatively in control. This was what I assumed was going to be a bit of a punish pick almost for the side of It's Unknown. Remember, they even kind of tossed away their ban because they thought they would need it later. Just banning the Cassidy. But instead, comes back to bite them. Now, they end up losing it. We're tied up 1-1, and it seems like our game is going to continue being so close. As I recall, we are going to vanish for a little bit while we give Matt Murray yet more airtime. So if we're ready, take it away, gentlemen.
Ah, yes, more airtime, and definitely not on mute either. Qdog is here, I assume. He's muted, and he has no screen, but we'll see in a minute. I'm also, I don't know what I can see or what I'm supposed to see, but it is what it is. We should be back. But hey, we're at a 1-1. This is actually incredibly close. First map goes to the final point, 99-99, and then this one going all the way as well. This is pretty exciting so far. There's lots of stuff to talk about. I've got a lot of questions for Kai. You see, the way these sections are going to work is that I'm pretty incompetent at the game when it comes to knowing shit. So I'm going to ask all the questions like the dummy I am, and Qdog is going to tell me all the correct answers. So, one thing that I wanted to ask, first of all, let's go to Ilios. And I want to ask, why do you think Misaki was deciding to play Sojourn into the Ball, into the Tracer, into the Echo, instead of going over to the Cassidy, which seems to be a more logical pick? It would have been able to sort of deal with the Ball a little bit more, deal with the Echo. What was the reasoning behind that, do you think? I can't hear you, man, because you're muted. You're muted, baby. Get us
Ah,
unmuted.
yes.
Give,
There we
give
go.
me that
Okay,
voice.
yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so even though like Cass is like the anti-dive hit scan, Sojin, he's a very good target to kill basically in dive compositions. So the only reason Cassidy's played over Sojin is when Sojin is basically really bad. So like in like previously when we played Cassidy against like ICL, we mainly play Cassidy when Sojin is bad, right? But if Sojin can one shot and she has a rail that's good, like the mobility is so much stronger than the actual flash. And it's better. You can live basically the dice better, so that's why Sojin is picked over Cassidy.
And one of the other things we saw as well was a hazard ban. That's quite early on, isn't it, for a hazard ban?
Yes, it was a little bit interesting. Yeah, I think it was Team Unknown banned Brig, and then they banned Hazard. I'm not entirely sure because they play Hazard themselves, so I would have thought they would have liked that pick. But as we saw, they wanted to play more brawly comps. They wanted to play the Rissa comp, and they wanted to play the Queen comp. So I think the Hazard ban was to stop because Hazard is really good on Ilios. So if they knew they wanted to play these compositions, the Hazard ban sort of makes sense. Yeah, I hope that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's just a concern for me that they've banned it so early, and they don't have that ability to ban it again in the future, should they wish to. So that could be an interesting factor moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, let's have a think about King's Row, because blummin' hell, that was pretty close as well. What do you think about the differences in the Malga compositions, the Reaper Echo versus the Genji?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. So the DPS line, so Reaper Echo is what we saw in like the finals of OWCS, right? That was the meta composition back then. Like Echoes and Reaper really benefit from Malga, and also are quite good into Malga. But their backline was the Baptiste and the Juno, which is so you have more poke, but your brawling capabilities is worse, right? So like you have a backline that wants to kind of poke, play slow, and you have like you have your front line which kind of wants to go in, right? Whereas you Team Unknown, they've got the hit scan and they've got the Brig and Juno. So Brig Juno are really good for brawling, but they've got the hit scan who kind of want to play more slow, build charge off the Malgo, try and look for those picks. So I think overall composition wise, I think Team Yuki's overall was better, right? Because you still had the Genji that could play with the Malga, and Sojin's, I think can work really well. Slide in with the Malga if needs to be really hard to dive. If the enemy Malga coming in, really hard to basically die. So yeah, I think that's you could sort of see like the window fights as well. Like window didn't really get much use, but Rally's much stronger. So even when we look at the ultimates as well, like Team Yuki just had better ultimates for the support line.
We also saw, interestingly, which was almost more successful, was the switch over to the Kiriko for Team Yuki. Yuki going to the Kiriko, a little bit more survivability maybe. I mean, when you're facing down a Reaper and an Echo, it must be hard for Azo to live, right? And I think we saw some clutch Suzus coming in, particularly towards the end of that map. I thought that was pretty good. I quite liked that switch over. And you mentioned how good the Brig was, but in those circumstances where Azo was taking so much poke early on, it seemed to work out regardless. Now, moving forward, we're now looking at Gibraltar. We're 1-1, best of 7, so we've got a long way to go. And Team It's Unknown, they chose Gibraltar, and they've now banned Widow. What do you think of the Widow ban? I mean, why ban the Widow? Is Misaki really that good?
The reason is that they don't have a hitscan player, remember? They've got 2 flex DPS players, so it makes sense to ban the Widow. You don't want someone like Misaki, who's a good hitscan player, to have that option. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But you've got Team Yuki banning the Kiriko. Now, my thoughts behind that is Team Yuki will want to play on a Brig, right? And they don't want to play into a Kiriko that can cleanse. So I'm assuming Fate Nevix would be back on the ball, and you take Kiriko away from Edward, so they'll definitely be playing some variation of Lucy Juno or Brig Juno. Yeah, and then it's probably be Azo, probably be on Winston. Apparently he's been learning Winston, and his Winston's apparently good at the moment, so no longer one trick anymore. But yeah, I think we'll be getting to the match soonish, so maybe back to the casters in a sec.
Oh, wait, before we go, let's give me some more screen time, man. Come on.
Sorry, forgot you like looking at yourself.
We talked about, of course. I like looking at you, man. Come on, let's be real. It's all about you. And now, no, whoa. Let's save that for later. Let's save it for a behind M&S trip or something. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, 4-2 is what we started with. 4-2 to Team Yuki. You happy with that still? Does that seem like a reasonable prediction, despite how close the 1-1 has been so far?
I think I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Team Yuki just does look, as a whole, look a bit cleaner as well. I don't know. I think when I'm seeing a lot of Nevix making quite good plays and like kind of pushing his team, and the DPS are doing a good job. But I don't know. Team Yuki does seem to just have that edge. I think last match just slightly. They got the better time. Yeah, they knew the better composition as well. They made a better composition. But yeah, I'm still happy with that prediction.
Yeah, they seem to be certainly getting more comfortable as they relax into it, get back into sort of the communication, which is such a big thing, I think, for that team, where they're all they've got the ideas and they've got the motivation. So let's see. Before we go, I'm saying hello to Loughborough. I'm going to do an L and then an O and then a U. Loughborough, they can't hear me right now, but they're watching it in a pub at the moment, and I think that's really cool that they've got it on the screen. So hello to you guys, and now we will go back to the casters.
And then
Let's see
soon
what
into the
happens
game.
on Gibraltar, and soon into the game as well. See you guys in a bit.
Okay, we should be back. We finally got rid of that bum, Matthew Murray, and of course Kido as well, who's been doing the lovely observing. Hi guys, we're back. Watchpoint Gibraltar has come through. The Widow ban, as we've heard before, means that this is going to be, in theory, a pretty dive-centric map. Obviously, if you need to play hit scan, if you have a very strong hit scan player, you still got the Ashe or Sojin as options, right? But if you are team It's Unknown, it feels, almost written in the stars that they're going to play something like a Tracer Echo, Tracer Genji, that kind of composition, right? Because, why would you not?
Yeah. It would be it would definitely be what we kind of expect from them, especially also on this point. It's on this map. It's such a good map for that kind of a lineup. It should be kind of interesting to see what we'll see in the tank lineup. Hazard has been getting quite popular here, but of course there's always the classic Winston. Especially since Kiriko is banned, we might be seeing more of the classic dive with the Brig Ana maybe. We'll have to find out now as we're getting into the game right now.
Yeah, the Nano Blades is what I'm personally looking forward to, of course, because it's an option. Why not just kind of send it? So I'm almost guaranteed. I feel like we're going to get that as well. It's one of Chief's most comfortable heroes, the Genji. With the Kyrie ban, you have to play Ana, basically. Like, okay, you could get away with a Juno, but you're very much getting away with it rather than playing what's optimal. So 5 seconds till we see these doors unlock. The real question for me is, what tank does Nevix want to opt towards? Because, as previously mentioned, more of a ground tank enjoyer. The Winston seems to be the look with the double flex composition.
The Winston, yeah.
But also the Juno coming through from Rizwood. Now, that is because he doesn't play any other bloody heroes. But also, that might be an issue. They can brawl a little bit harder than Team Yuki can. But in exchange, you don't have the nanos for hits. You don't have the nades. Sorry, orbital ray. Yeah. Like you can brawl again, but Team Yuki just don't have to take that. They can just walk away. And on the side of Team Yuki, all very standard except for the Ashe, which is a result of the Widow ban. So no huge surprises here. Just curious to see how it actually works out once the teams get into biffing and brawling.
Absolutely, I feel like it should be quite effective. The Ashe is the Echo. We have a Sim TP coming out from Chief here, hopefully. Looking to get that backline onto the high ground, going through the low ground just to make sure they're safe from any potential anti-nades or any of the above. As Azo is just going to try and force the backline of Team It's Unknown away from their own backline a little bit. Now, Chief's probably just going to want to just pressure this payload as much as possible here. Nevix on the payload, trying to avoid letting them get away with that. But of course, by being on that payload, they're leaving that high ground undefended.
Indeed. There's been very, very little actual engagement happening. Both teams just want to jostle for the high ground. And with this Ashe setup, Azo's very unlikely to hard take it. But he can just stop Nevix from being able to find and engage themselves. Finn under pressure, going down. It's Unknown. Ugh. The backline wipes out Team Yuki, forced to back off. They tried to rotate their backline, round the high grounds. But it was just a great catch on that rotate. They find the stickies, they find the Winston Taze, and there's not too much even an Ana Brig can do to live through that. So first fight going down took almost a minute and a half. Super slow from Team Yuki. See if second fight's going to be any better for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Looks like Fake Nevix has spotted or found Yukino and Finn. Isn't able to follow up on it though because it is in a tight corridor. Might not be the best place to go as a Winston into an Ana, especially. As Fake Nevix is just gonna keep pressuring their backline. Keep pressuring that Primal coming out here. Is going to try and just zone Misaki here. Doesn't look like it's gonna be able to get any picks, but it will.
That was the whitest Primal I've ever seen in my life.
That was a very white Primal. As Rally and Nano both coming out here. Nano onto Azo as Volta will also rally, and It's Unknown will copy the Ana here, hopefully looking to build maybe a Nano to send off onto their own Winston here. In retaliation, Primal coming out from Azo here, getting a really nice juggle here onto Yukino. Unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to kill. Does get the kill, sorry, onto Volta. Getting them confused. As Volta will get picked. It's Unknown will also go down to Misaki here as it looks like Juno is going to come out from Rizward here a little bit late in my opinion, but is going to try and stall that payload out for not much avail here as oh, but it does look like they're going to take a few more seconds off the clock. Nevix going to be holding that going to hold that point here, just trying to stay alive, but is unfortunately not going to last long.
Not at all. Just the final couple of stragglers by the looks of things being eliminated, with Aza going down. Rizman's so low. Volta's still staying alive though because the target priority's all off. But as he goes down, then yeah, the final two members as well will be cleaned up. Team Yuki able to crack through into first point.
Yeah, Team Yuki did also still have to commit a Bob there as well on that final fight, so that stall wasn't for nothing. They did get an ult forced out for it, but
one ult though, they've still got close to basically everything. They're gonna have Nano, already got Pulse, they're gonna have Primal. Yes, Team It's Unknown will have a rally, but it's just not the same by any description. What a nade, but what a whip shot as well. Azo can't follow through.
Both Brigs get traded here, but it looks like it's just going to be a bit more of a passive fight now, as both teams are probably going to wait for their respective Brig to get back before trying to do anything drastic.
Or just stable your Winston in a Nano fight, surely. You don't really want the Brig there when you engage. You don't need the survivability for Finn himself because he hasn't been under that much pressure throughout this game.
Yeah, I feel like that might be partially caused by the fact that, I mean, just the no Ana on Team It's Unknown side here. However, speaking of that, Finn does get taken out by Fake Nevix here. Azo primaling the rallying Volta into a corner here. Now, we were saying that Fake Nevix's primals have been quite white. I would say Azo's definitely been a lot less white. Although I say that Fake Nevix does get a primal pick onto Misaki here. It's going to chase the rest of Team Yuki out as far away as possible before going back to the team.
He's under a bit of an awkward spot here. Here's Nevix. We'll be able to back off for now. That Nano is very preemptive. I've got an isolation here, but will he be able to kill? I think not.
Especially not with that Juno ult coming out there as well. Rally coming out from Yukino. But there's a copy onto Brig from It's Unknown. Yukino does get killed here. Chief going down as well. As it looks like Team It's Unknown will get 2, I think it was 2. I can't count. But and force the rest of Team Yuki back out. 60 seconds on the clock here. One more fight for point 2.
Indeed. Misaki, oh, he's flubbed his shot. Maybe goes down here, but with It's Unknown also being the one to fall, then it's a numbers advantage here for Team Yuki. You know, some of the pressure has been relieved. That time is still going to be that 6th man on the side of It's Unknown.
Yeah. Pig nade comes out, gets Rizward, who will drop. as it looks like they will just clean up the rest of this fight here in the favor of Team Yuki. Yeah, and it looks like that'll be point 2 to Team Yuki.
Indeed it will. Nevix goes down, so you get a little bit extra distance around this corner. Again, Team Yuki spend the bob to get that cap, but they'll take that every day of the week because now they've got nano advantage. A bit of a lead, at least for a couple percentage points on that nano boost. So while, yes, Team Itsuno can brawl with their rally, with their Juno, you might as well just hard send Aza into the backline. The last nano engage was pretty poor, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a bit too early.
It would be maybe a little bit more potent.
Yeah, definitely. Aza in a little bit of trouble here. Primal's coming out from Fake Nevix. The sleep misses from Finn. Fake Nevix just going to cause as much chaos in the backline as possible before getting back out with his life. Primal now coming out from Azo. We'll see how this one works out. Pulse bomb for Joby. Gets a pick onto Misaki here.
About to try and stay alive. A lot of tasers to backline. Yeah, as you mentioned, that nano boost has been invested to keep Azo up, but not getting any real value from it. The rally at least will help Finn survive for another couple of seconds, but will it be permanent or just temporary fix?
Yeah, I mean, Nevix is currently getting sort of ganged up on, but I think is able to make the most out of it. The copied nano from It's Unknown, able to hopefully make a little bit more space here for Team It's Unknown, as it's just going to hold a very close angle here. 8 seconds on the clock. Someone's going to have to touch the orbital ray coming out from Wizward here. This is it. This is the final 1 second, as it looks like oh god, which team am I looking at?
Chief got a double blink onto the card.
Like
Yuki goes down though. It's Unknown should still be in control as Chief gets eliminated by the opposing Tracer, getting the differential there. There's no chance for another touch as well, so Team Yuki will be able to find just under 60 meters here on the last point of Watchpoint Gibraltar. A strong attack by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that completion, which means that there's no chance of a tie here. There's no chance of extra innings. They either hold or they don't. And It's Unknown now have a line in the sand. They know exactly where they have to cross or not.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll just have to see how far they can push it and if they can push it past or not.
Okay.
I feel like the nanos have been quite. I wouldn't say quite poor. I don't think it's
necessarily an nano thing. It's just like when we're going for a nano fight, we're not super synced up for it. Normally, you know, nano boost is a nice thing to have, but when you're going into like a brig comp, you really do want to be hitting a nade or another diver or something to make it a little bit more potent. Because a lot of the time, we're like nanoing in, and then we're only tasing like Voltza as Riz with just hard pockets. And you're not gonna die then. You know, it's nice to have the 90 DPS or so, but Juno can basically heal through that, especially combined with the brick heals. No DPS passive, so if we get some more DPS focus, that'd be nice. If we get some nades, that'd be nice. If we get a Soj rail, that'd be even nicer. But we'll have to wait and see as Team Yuki go for this Sojin setup. They tried some Ashe before, of course. Lots of Ashe, in fact, and didn't find a crazy amount of success. So now Sojin, I would argue, is actually better on the attack, worse than the defense. But Misaki doesn't seem to think that way.
It looks like Joby's going to look for the TP. It's going to go up onto the top here. It's easy setup for a nade from Finn. Gets Rizward. Rizward is very low now, has to back out. As both Winstons are just going to trade for that, trade some damage for that fight for the bridge here. Forcing out Azo's bubble. Fake Nevix going to try and get on the backline here. Not much opportunity to do anything. Big nade onto It's Unknown here. Could cause a lot of damage. Doesn't get it. But Misaki gets a clean headshot onto Rizward. But if you look at the payload, it has been progressing this entire time. Joby just putting in an absolute shift, pushing through that payload. Chief finally catching up and now contesting that a lot more.
Oh, yeah, going down to 9 HP, them eliminated. Azo was there with the Tesla Cannon to find the kill when all said and done, and looks for more as a nade, as well as the Primal connects. Or not Primal, so just a jump. When all is said and done, though, that's both the backliners going down and, you know, speaking, you know, in that little period of downtime about how we really did want to see these kind of all these elements of the dive combined. When you finally see it, it is pretty cool to see. So Team Yuki getting a decent hold there, about just under, or just over, sorry, or just under, got there in the end. Half the time bank now bled, and we're going into the next attack from Team It's Unknown.
Nade once again gets onto It's Unknown. Nano coming out onto Misaki here, just to keep them alive. Also to help pressure in the Tracer 1v1 here. Is just going to get involved, force that recall for Jovi, and it's going to clean up that fight ultimately. Primal coming out from Fake Nevix here, going to try and get a good juggle on to Yukino. The rally's coming out from both sides, but Volta does go down. As Yukino pauses to type in the chat with rally active.
Listen, he's more about winning the mental war than the physical one. The physical one's nice as well, of course. But now minute and a half left to go. Team Yuki now have a slightly stronger time bank, as far as I understand, and will continue to have so, as Volta goes down to a pick from Chief, who has just been stamping his name time and time again on this series. Yeah. Team It's Unknown, all you can do is wait for your break to come back. At just over a minute left, you're on a one-fight territory, but you're very, very close to it. Joby is going to do his best to get what distance he can, but remember, you've kind of just got to shrink it to as few fights as possible, as little push as possible, rather than thinking in terms of distance.
It's Unknown with the copy coming out onto a Winston here. The anti from Finn just denying any value from that. Joby not getting any picks with the Pulse Bomb, as the Juno ult will come out from Rizward here. Hopefully their final chance for, not final chance, second final chance. Primal coming out from Aza here to live. Also to get a clean juggle onto Fake Nevix, who is antied. And will go down. Volta also following up on that trend. As it looks like it's coming down to final fight for Team It's Unknown here. Not looking very good for them here. Especially looking at those ults as well.
It's an awkward spot for them. As you mentioned, it's not too good for them at all. You can play for Primal, I guess, but it's not really the swing ult that you'd really want. Especially because if I'm Team Yuki, I'm CSing up Misaki on the most passive line possible and just nano OCing when you get really, really low. That's exactly what they're going to do, minus the passive positioning.
There we go. They're taking very aggressive positioning, but I don't think it matters because, I mean, what are you going to do in the face of a nano overclock? Volta will get picked off early. Misaki does get traded. Primal finally coming out from Fake Nevix here, as backlines are getting traded left, right, and center. Joby will go down as well to Azo, as Fake Nevix and Azo will just continue brawling out on the cart, but it looks like it won't be enough, as Team Yuki will clean them up, taking them off as overtime ticks down. Team Yuki will win map 3.
Getting the lead here for the first time in the series, if memory serves, being able to string together 2 in a row. Team Yuki seem to have some wind in their sails. They got the momentum going pretty firmly in their favor, and even though these individual maps are relatively close, then I'm gonna say that defense was anything but, right? Just unfortunately, I think the Juno is such a huge issue when you're playing this monkey comp, especially on the attack, right? You can keep the monkey stable, that's what, but you can't really go for nades. You can't really get a power spike high enough to actually kill anything, right? So if we're not seeing kills manufactured by the DPS, and evidently that didn't really happen, then you're kind of cooked. And as it stands now, Yuki halfway to claiming that championship.
Yeah, pretty close. And I mean, I think this is really displaying that one big weakness with Team It's Unknown, where they put all their money into their main support and tank and didn't have quite enough money to get a more flexible option for their other support here. Of course, having a Juno one trick is going to limit you quite a lot in the kinds of comps you can play. And also, especially when you're going into players of this level, composition really does matter down to a hero level. And so having that Juno is going to be quite tough. But yeah, we'll hopefully see. We'll see what happens in the next map here. Looks like a Sojourn ban coming out from Team It's Unknown. So that's going to be quite interesting. Hopefully lock down Misaki a little bit more here.
Yeah, Sojourn ban is, I mean, I assume it means that we're going to, again, be trying to get rid of hitscan in general, right? Especially if you go towards a map like Suravasa, where no other hitscan is really super playable, right? Then you can either try a cast and maybe just play Respawn Simulator, or you can play Double Flex. So this does seem like a pretty targeted ban to me. We'll see if it actually ends up paying out dividends, as of course map pick itself isn't actually through yet. We'll have to wait and see for a little bit what we got cooking.
And also, speaking of targeted bans,
Suravasa.
Orisa ban coming out here from Team Yukino, trying to lock down Nevix onto some of the maybe less optimal heroes for him against, especially maybe against the Azo Queen potentially. So we could see that coming back again now.
Azo is 100% playing Queen. Yeah.
Yeah. So Orisa ban is definitely gonna be punishing for Nevix. We'll see probably on the ball again, actually, is what I would assume, based off of what we've seen in the past in Ilios. But we'll just have to see how that happens, how that works out, and we'll see what both teams cook up here.
I'm assuming that Yuki will just play Queen. Why would you not ever play Queen here, right? Like you can still play. I'm assuming Yuki plays like a Tracer. You could play like Tracer Genji, you could play like Cass Genji, the rest of the comp still totally in. Yuki's on a comfort pick, Finn's on a comfort pick, Azo's on a comfort pick, Chief's on a comfort pick, Yamaitas just well. Yeah. And if your team is unknown, they're gonna go probably Malga would be my assumption here.
Malga, yeah. Actually,
it might go towards like a Brig style rather than starting on the BAP now that it's possible to actually flank backline. Right, especially when you're playing against the Queen comp, that backline might actually need that protection. But you might as well just go Malga here. If you can't go Orisa, you kind of your standard ground tank pick, then this Malga feels like the next best option. And that's very much what I expect to see Nevix go towards, especially considering it's also one of his best tanks.
That's true, yeah. So we'll see. We'll just see how the matchup of, I guess, the Queen that Azo has practiced so much and is probably, well, not probably, is Azo's arguably the best tank versus one of Nevix's better tanks. So we'll just see how that matchup goes. I mean, of course, it will depend on the rest of the team composition. Malga, of course, actually works quite well with that Juno, so that would be quite nice for the inflexibility there. But we will see in about 10 seconds as looks like someone needs to get a job.
Rip the Premier Team Edinburgh hit scan player F, also known as, I assume that's pronounced Fweeve. You've got your
Fweeve,
E and I, and it's weird. Please, everyone, I want you to know that if your name is like weird to pronounce, as casters, we do secretly hate you. Yeah. We do go to sleep cursing you. Especially if it's really weird, like LBBBD7. Like, there's no way I'm ever going to say Labda unless I'm told to, you know? It's stupid. Yeah. Anyway, they play Hazard, actually, which isn't one of Nevix's best heroes.
Interesting to see how Azo's on the Malga that we were saying. Yeah. And Nevix is on the Hazard this time.
So, normally Nevix is benched on Hazard, so Booga plays the Hazard instead on GT3. Azo does have a Malga, but I guess he didn't. He expected to have a Malga into his Queen, so I think it's just some people trying to preempt the opponent's swaps that got us to this spot here.
Yeah, and I mean, especially Malga is quite a decent tank into the Hazard there as well. Volta getting taken down quite early into the fight here. As I'm showing here, Nevix in a lot of trouble just due to the fact that Malga can just keep shooting through the block. And Suzu is not going to be enough to save you there. As Edward will follow up. Pause coming out from Nevix's side. Immediately getting flamed. The mental war between Nevix and Yukino is constantly back and forth here, as we will have to see what the cause of this pause is here. Need to tie my laces.
I'm assuming he's saying is Booga, right?
I'm assuming so, but I mean, we might be looking at potentially some UK imports for Crazy Raccoons here.
Guys, are we decided to break up Crazy Raccoons to farm NSC Newell harder?
I think it's
they heard about the free socks. I'm like, we need to get involved here, guys.
I mean, they are very, very highly what's the word for it?
Sought after?
When you sought after. That's it. There we go. We do have a rage quit on the side of Nevix. Obviously not. It's probably a DC due to some sort of connectivity issues or something like that. We will find out when they reconnect. Low FPS or high ping, one or the other. We will find out. Now, I mean, first fight does really go quite strongly towards Team Yuki here. 1,000 ping apparently. So It's a fun place to be, especially on a mobile tank like Hazard.
1,000 is a lot of ping.
That is a lot of ping.
Probably more than 3, even, is what I would say. I'm assuming he's gonna swap though anyway. Like, why would you? Because like it's an Hazard's kind of playable into this. It's just hard, and it's not that fun.
Hard, yeah. Might as well
But
play
instead,
the Mauga if you.
Yeah, I was gonna say instead walk back to spawn or swap to counter Mauga, and then you're chilling because everyone's on heroes that they like. It's unknown, and Joby can go back towards this like Reaper Echo style, and then you could hope that it was just King's Row that wasn't fantastic for you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, looks like Team It's Unknown is ready to go back in again. Does it appear like we might be getting? I'm unsure. I'm seeing Yukino mentioning Booga. Is it possible that we might be getting the very last minute Booga sub? And no, it looks like Fake Nevix is going to be back in the game here. As both sides are now ready, we'll get right back to it.
I hope so, at least. We've been chilling here for a hot second, and got no
games
film
to
material.
watch.
Exactly. Okay, Rizwa's just gone down. We'll see if they instantly swap. No, they seem to want to play this, so we'll see if there's a different strategy here as they begin the walk up once again. So far, the last fight was a bit of a steamroll there, but we can blame those technical issues. So It's Unknown now, without that particular excuse, have to head into this battle and find some success, and find it fast.
Yeah, as it looks like Fake Nevix is just going to push up onto the high grounds here, try and force out Misaki as much as possible. But is once again just going to get gunned down by Azo on the Mauga. This time Suzu barely saving them. Joby will go down to Chief here with some support. As it looks like Team Yuki's pretty comfortably still holding this point down. Volta will go down as well as Fake Nevix will get picked. Of course, the rest of the team will get cleaned up as well. Misaki going to retake that high ground.
No surprises there that Chief was able to beat Joby in that 1v1. Fake Nevix was just taking so much damage that Chief is just going to have more healing resources to work with. Nevix makes a swap over to the Sigma. I don't really see the vision, to be honest, but we'll see if it works out for them. Plenty of ults heading into this fight on Gardens. Nevix in person resetting his ult charge for the second time this game. Team Yuki, with the extra check mark, surely should have the lead.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it should be the case, but you never know. There might be something to the Pocket Sigma pick here. Although, it seems to be getting pressured out very quickly. Fake Nevix will go down again to a rally from Yukino. Pulse from It's Unknown does not get anything, as it will just be a very clean and quick fight. Although It's Unknown is just going to stall a little bit longer before the cap goes through.
Indeed. Just able to close things out when ult is said and done then. You know, we were talking about how many ults were online for both these two teams. In the end, no one really ended up investing. A Rally and a Pulse, you'll say that every day of the week. That does mean, though, that Team Yuki can still continue to trade ultimates here and probably get the better off of it. I'm assuming they can force beats with Blade or a Cage and close them out with the other one. That's exactly what it seems to be going for.
Speaking of, yeah, beat, Kitsune, Cage, Blade, Bob, everything coming out from all sides. Joby gets one, Misaki's Bob gets a cleanup pick onto Nevix, as it looks like the rest of Team It's Unknown will fall. A huge investment from both sides there, now leaving only Finn with that orbital range.
I don't know why we spend that heavily, right? Like, if your team It's Unknown, you're probably not winning that. You're just going to get ulted on. So you might as well just save your ults, walk into this next one with ult advantage. Instead, we both just trap the kitchen sink and now an orbital ray against the Flux. I know which one I'm taking.
Me too, and it does not happen to be a tank ult here. Flux coming out as the Juno ult will also come out. Of course, Nevix will go down really fast in that. Doesn't even successfully get off the Flux in time. As it's just a little bit of a struggle for the overtime of point 2, as it's immediately going to go to match point for Flashpoint for Team Yuki.
Yuki lost control, and then they locked in. There's no other way of describing it. A bit of a C9 there, of course, for Team It's Unknown. And what can we say about this upcoming battle that hasn't kind of already been said? Nevix is on a new tank again, playing mystery heroes right now.
Yeah.
Seems like they can't follow the game plan that Coach Buka has set out, and so He's just pressing the H key every time he dies, hoping to find something that cracks the key, the code. They've got the defense matrix, of course, to mitigate what Malga shooting there is, but will it be enough? We'll have to wait and see.
We will. What if this is just some really, really 1 million IQ strat cooked up by Bugha here, and they're lulling them into a false sense of security? We'll see. We'll have to see, but I'm quite doubtful, to be honest. It's Unknown does have this pulse bomb here. Could get something pretty crazy with it if used correctly, but will not be able to get it off in the line of sight of Misaki, who will clean up 2 picks there as the rest of its Unknown's team will go down.
That they will. So plenty of momentum now on Team Yuki's side. They've won the last 2 maps, they won the last 2 flashpoints, and all they need to do now is close out this to be on tipping distance of winning this tournament overall. They've got plenty of tools to work with as well, but Team It's Unknown, they slow play, will have double support ults, will have a bit of a lead, and we'll be able to play with those.
Yeah, just have to see how they use them, if they can use them in time. Rally coming out from Yukino here will be the first ult to come out. It's Unknown gets a stick onto Misaki. Yukino will also get picked off. It looks like Team Yuki is going to fall here. 3 of them down. It's just A-Zone Chief left. And it doesn't look like they will last much longer either.
No ultimate spent as well for Team It's Unknown,
Finally,
right?
One won.
They finally managed to win an economic team fight. So hopefully this is the beginning. That's, you know, something to help them springboard their way down a little bit deeper into this match, into Suravasa especially, because they've been kind of cooked out of it. The important thing for Team Yuki is probably burning defense matrix. Oh, okay, they're just engaged in. Team Yuki, walk out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a very early Kitsune rush there. There's not really much of an opportunity to chase them out before they got around some hard cover. As Azo's going to just try and force that backline, but not going to get anything valuable there. Suzu comes out really early from Rizward there. Might put them in a bit of trouble a little bit later, but we will find out soon. They're just going to walk onto point 4 pretty much free here. As Beat will come out from Volta, as the Orbital Ray will come out from Finn, as well as the Blade, the High Noon, the Cage, the Kitchen Sink, everything else coming out from Team Yuki here, as it is pretty much match point for them. So they can just invest everything they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything pulled. No chance. Full Team It's Unknown. Here we go. It's 3-1 in favor of Team Yukino. We kind of were expecting It's Unknown almost to find some success here, but Team Yuki have been able to lock in and just begin steamrolling. Seem to have found that secret to success, probably getting closer and closer to winning the tournament. Would probably be Yukino's first tournament win, you know, thinking about his tournament results, but...
Oh, no. But, I mean, I believe we have an analyst desk that we will be passing it off to in a minute here. Matt Murray wants more time on the screen, so I'm assuming we should probably send it off to them pretty soon here. I mean, final thoughts for that? Oh.
No, you don't get final thoughts. It goes immediately to us. I want as much screen time as possible, and I want to add...
because that is the truth.
Stop that man! Stop that man! Remove him from Big Warwick. What I wanted to say is, look at you guys saying, "Oh, we expected a bit more from Team It's Unknown." Hisky Dog and was here. We knew this was probably going to be a 4-2, 4-1. Here we are. Keydog, I've not really been watching. I can't lie. I've been having it on in the background. But tell me what your thoughts are, and don't be on mute this time. You really can't help yourself. But yeah, tell us your thoughts on the last 2 maps.
What was the last map before this? Gibraltar. That was a bit of a roll, wasn't it? Team Yuki got it pushed it quite far. I mean, we talked about the bans, but even then, Misaka on the Ashe on the Soul still managed to get a lot of value. And I think we just got to mention the primals, right? Nevix, those are the whitest primals I've ever seen, I think. But Azo looking very Korean. I mean, those juggles, I was spectating it, and I was just like, I was so locked in because he was like shaking his camera so much, but the juggles were on point. So like he's definitely a Korean descent.
Yeah, I saw the one onto Volta when he was rallying in the room on second point. That was crazy. That was nice
really
and clean.
Yeah,
but no, go on. Tell me the knowledge.
I think as well, like Ana Brig is just better than Juno Brig on that map. You know, Ana, there's so many places where you get nades. You know, there's a reason Ana Brig Winston is always played on the map, even when something like Juno Mauga is meta, right? It's just so strong. It's just so strong. Yeah, that was my main point. I wanted to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I was thinking, to be honest, it almost feels, particularly what we saw in Suravasa, right? It feels like Team Yuki are starting to run away with it a little bit more. They seem to have figured out what they want to run, how they want to play. And the Mauga is looking so strong. I mean, we saw some vestiges of life towards the end with the Diva switch, but it wasn't enough once the ultimates came out from Team Yuki. What's your big concern here? Is it time now to ban the Mauga? I mean, it has to be, right? Otherwise, this could be the end for
Have they
Team
banned it
Unknown.
before? They haven't banned Mauga yet. Have
I
they?
don't think they banned it yet. No.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't really know, but I think the Diva pick is quite strong into the Mauga. I think the issue is the DPS, right? You need to go back to like an Echo Sojourn, or like something that can burn the Mauga, right? Playing like, were they playing the Genji Tracer? I think for most of that still.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that comp just does nothing to a Mauga, right? You need a Soj. You need something that at least either it takes advantage of them having a Mauga, like the Soj with the rail shots, or Reaper or Echo or something that can burn it down, right? I think something like Echo Tracer would have worked much more in their favor on that map.
I mean, we could. Echo Tracer was certainly plausible, but that's the thing that we've talked about, right? With its on teams that it's unknown is the lack of flexibility on that DPS line with the focus on the Genji Tracer. But yes, they probably could have played the Echo. That could have been something, and maybe we will see. I mean, it's quite interesting. Funnily enough, I'm looking at my inside sources right now, and I'm seeing a Runasapi pick followed immediately by a Genji ban coming out from Team It's Unknown.
That is
What do you
weird.
think? Genji ban?
They play Genjis. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe they just want. Maybe the Chief is diffing him too hard, so they want to ban that. And Yukino bans Hog, which is I think a throwaway ban a little bit. I think they just don't want to. They don't really feel like there's a ban that will help them, and they don't want to use anything
Why?
too strong.
Why is there no Mauga ban? I'm trying to look through and see if there's been a Mauga ban before. I don't believe there has. So why have they not banned it on this
I
pivotal map?
Yeah, I think Runasapi is not really a Mauga map. It is quite open. I really want to see Team It's Unknown go back to the Bull composition. I feel like Bull can be pretty strong into the Mauga. Bull is really good into Brawl in general, and Mauga is a very brawly comp. It's quite hard into Brig Juno with Bull. That's the only issue. But I feel like if he's struggling on the Hazard, if he's struggling on Diva, which doesn't have enough kill potential, maybe I think Bull could be a pretty good pick to go back onto. But
I
yeah,
agree. It's where it looks their strongest, that's for sure as well. When we saw that victory on Ilios.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Yukino they banned the Hog. I'm just trying to think. Well, so they can either ban a tank. They could have banned like, another. If they want to play Mauga again on this map, they could have banned another thing that they could have banned. What could they ban? They could have banned Diva. They could have banned. I don't think they could have banned Hazard. I think they've already banned Hazard, but I think they could have banned Diva. They could have banned Wrecking Ball. They could have banned those dive DPS.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
A Wrecking Ball ban would have made more sense than a Roadhog ban. A Roadhog ban feels certainly confidence, right? And they don't want to ban anything else, but maybe a little bit rushed. Because it could have been more preferable to ban the ball, and then you're really in a tricky position if your teammate's unknown.
Yeah, if the Bull ban goes through, you have your Genji, so you must be going for that Tracer Echo composition, right? And Tracer Echo is really good for dive, right? So you want to play dive through, and I think Nevix's Bull is just far better than his Winston, right? So maybe they want to try the Hazard again. That could be a possibility, but I think to beat the Mauga, the Hazard comp should beat the Mauga comp, but you need to outplay it, sort of thing, right? You need to beat the cheese. Like Mauga can be a bit cheesy sometimes, right? It's always like when they Watchpoint when you play like pirate ship, right? That cheese was always so annoying, but you have to outplay the cheese, which can be done. But I don't know if Team It's Unknown has that ability on the Hazards. It didn't look like it last map anyway.
Well, that's the question, because this could be it. This could be our final map. So let's head back to the casters now. Let's see what they think, and maybe this could be it. Let's see, is this the finale, or can Team It's Unknown claw it back? Helglim, Spec, what do you guys think?
Well, that's what we got to see, ain't it? There's no two ways of describing it. Is it going to be the end of things? Well, in terms of the momentum, maybe. In terms of the map pick, I'm just not so sure, right? Runasapi on these longer sight lines. It's kind of awkward for Azer's hero pool. I feel like The Malga maybe not going to be as strong. The Has still in could be a little bit more playable. Yes, it does something. It's a no, don't have a hard hit scan. But it's all going to come down to how we play in the server. Of course, still talking in chat with Genji and Hog bans. Damn, okay, we'll move on with those.
You know, I think the Hog ban's actually something we might not know about. I think the massive brains, Yukino and Finn and all of them, especially Finn with the Warwick, sorry, not Warwick, what am I talking about? The Oxford Giga Brain. This is something we don't know about yet. This must be something that's just happened in this patch just now. Hog's actually just become the most broken hero in the game. I believe in it. I'm sure it was justified, and it was a perfectly valid use of a ban slot there. But yeah, looks like we are going into potentially match point here for Team Yuki, or is it 0.2 or 0.3 for how many maps have It's Unknown won again now? I want to say 1, but it could be 2. I think it's 1. I think it's 1 map.
Oh, I think it meant in the tournament overall. Yeah, 3-1 right now.
3-1. So yeah, could be final point for Team Yuki here. We'll find out shortly as we go into Runasapi.
Indeed. I mean, here we are into the actual lobby. As you can see, 3-1. Hog and Genji are bans in terms of the composition. I mean, having no Genji for double flex stuff does make it sort of funky. You can move towards, for example, Trace, like Echo, maybe? But also, you know, you ban... I mean, it's their ban, isn't it? They went towards, so they're kind of cooking something. We'll have to wait and see. 14 seconds till the spawn doors unlock. I'm assuming the Roadhog is a throwaway ban. They're kind of like, we're winning. We don't have a ban we want to go towards that we haven't already spent, of course. So we might as well just, you know...
Might as well throw it at something.
Yeah. Like, you might, like, it don't matter, you know? I figure they have such a decent chance, and if they need on the other maps, they can lock it in. Also, sometimes it just comes to a point where there's literally nothing you want to ban. Because you would be restricting your own options, or it's just nothing you think they're gonna actually end up playing.
That's true. However, I still feel like the Wrecking Ball would have been a better pick there, as was said by our analyst desk. It would have been better because, I mean, Nevix is just going to play the ball. But we'll see how it works out here. With the double speed boost on the side of Team It's Unknown here, versus the classic Break Juno composition. Team Nevix will, or Team It's Unknown will just get to the point way faster with all that speed. But what can they do with that setup? That's what we need to find out here now.
One would assume not too much. We'll have to wait and see. Team Yuki, the more stacks they play, might find it slightly easier to deal with the engages of Nevix and co. It's Unknown forced out early on, but won't actually be caught out yet. We're going to jostle back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's Team Yuki who can actually force cart.
Is no one dying. As I say that, Chief gets a beam onto It's Unknown, crowning the first pick of this map.
Yeah, that's Rizwood going down as well. Chief just forces cart. That's kind of it for this first fight, and a poor omen of things to come for Team It's Unknown, Team Yuki. They're just winning, for lack of a better word, right? Everything's just working out in their favor.
Yeah, really. I mean, especially also having Misaki on that Cassidy with such high mobility characters such as Tracer, such as Wrecking Ball, can be a really punishing pick here, I feel like. As it looks like Team Yuki's almost already at their forward spawn cap here. Joby getting a kill onto Misaki here, but Volta will be traded for it here. Yukino will also go down though, so it is looking alright for Team It's Unknown here with those 2-3 picks here. It's Unknown will get traded, but is it going to be enough? It is a 3v3, I believe, 3v2 here, as Chief will die. Azo, last one on the point for Team Yuki, will finally go down, and the cart will hopefully start pushing in the favor of Team It's Unknown here.
They won't get much distance though. Most definitely they won't get the same amount that Team Yuki has, so we'll be able to walk back in with ults. But both teams are going to be pretty full of those ultimate abilities for the check marks. The furthest away, Rizwood's at 70%, but even that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from farming up entirely. Big boop, actually.
Oh, and a huge slam coming in here from Nevix as well. Beat coming out from Volta, as Joby does get a kill using that pulse bomb, cleaning up a lot of Team Yuki here, as it looks like they will win that fight. They are going to get quite a lot of distance now.
Indeed, they will. And they will be able to actually contest for the forward spawns here for the lead in this map. Team Yuki can recontest if they want, but it will be somewhat risky, and Nevix is going to be there to harass and harangue the rotate, as often he is.
As Minefield coming out here from Nevix. Copy coming out from It's Unknown, and Chief at the same time. High Noon coming out from Misaki doesn't get anything, but there are 2 copies on the playing field right now. Both looking to build those ults. It's Unknown with that High Noon copy first. Rizward will drop, as Misaki will be traded for it. With that rally coming out here, a bit late into the fight, but that's all right, as it will force out Joby, and Nevix will go down too, cleaning up a fight in the favor of Team Yuki.
Yeah, lead in favor of It's Unknown by a measly 10 centimeters. That is going to be garnered back relatively quickly, but there's going to be a chance that It's Unknown to be back on that horse momentarily. Orbital Ray versus Orbital Ray and Rampage. Team Yuki have the ult advantage every way you slice it. The Rampage is such a counter into the Ray in of itself, so if Finn can hold his own, that'll be a huge boon for the future of Team Yuki,
Mirrored Orbital Rays coming out, but Azo has that Queen ult. The Rampage coming in. Oh, yes, Rampage is the right one, as it will just help them have the upper hand here in this fight. Finally getting that forward spawn and retaking the lead, I believe.
Yes, that they will.
Yes.
56 meters now, increasing that lead as well. Azo on the corner with a knife, has some pick pressure, but not hitting it, so just going to get some bleeds, just going to keep himself topped up. No ults for either side. Volta closest, just 10% away from a beat, but a mechanical pick in this window could be huge, and It's Unknown the one to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just immediately after swapping to the Sojourn here, has gotten a really nice pick on the Chief there, as Finn and Volta will both go down for respective sides. Team It's Unknown now has the cart. Azo will finally die, as they will hopefully start getting it pushing back in their direction here. They've forgotten the cart. Oh, never mind. Rizward has it. Hopefully they'll get rid of the forward spawn at least.
They'll get that, but not before all the Team Yuki have already taken it, right? Azo on this Malga, gonna be maybe even easier to poke out than the Queen, right? But your engages are going to be huge if you can catch, well, pretty much any member of Team It's Unknown caught lacking, caught unawares.
Yeah, as I mean, that stomp is a nightmare to deal with if you're a squishy, and not much that Nevix can do about that. Constantly having to be behind them all here. Big slam coming out, overclock coming out from It's Unknown here, as a rally from Yukino is fired back as a mirror, as the forward spawn is taken by Team It's Unknown. No picks from either side here. Pulse bomb coming out, doesn't get anyone from Joby's side. Volta finally popping that beat. Both teams are just not dying, really. Misaki and Joby do fall for their respective teams, but no one else is really dying. It's just one of those fights. Volta will go down, as this might spell the end for Team It's Unknown for this fight here, potentially.
It could be a catch coming through onto Rizwood, who's been identified as an issue. What a run from Azo, who's getting creative with the sprint, but not actually able to find an elimination of it, as will be forced to go back. Ults online for both these teams. As I mentioned before, the ones from Team Yuki going to be better, more synergistic, just stronger in of themselves. And we should get to the battle now as Nevix goes for a slam.
Yeah, Chief will get taken out by Joby here, with a bit of support from Volta. As the orbital rays from both sides will come out. Finn's just a second later. Is it going to be enough? Looks like both teams will lose a support in the mix. Azo with the cage coming out will get a pick onto Joby as well. And It's Unknown cleaning up that fight in favor of Team Yuki once again.
Also, when you've got the lead, you're perfectly happy just to send the cart back and forth, right? Burning time off your opponent's clock. Because even if you're not getting more distance on your wall, as long as you don't finish the map, it doesn't matter if you got 10 meters or 100. As long as when the clock ends, you've got more distance than your opponents. It makes it a little bit easier when you get to an OC scenario, of course, but that's very much the cherry on top rather than the whole cake.
Absolutely. Overclock coming out from It's Unknown behind the enemy side here. Could do a lot of damage. Joby and Misaki will get swapped out on both sides here. But it looks like the Overclock from It's Unknown won't be able to do any substantial damage. Fake Nevix will get picked off Rizward as well, cleaning up that fight. Once again, in favor of Team Yuki. Multiple fights in a row here. Just going to help them get so much more of a lead on Team It's Unknown here.
It just feels like they can't lose. There's no other way of describing it. Obviously, they'll take individual fight losses, but in terms of the overall momentum, that train is one way, I'm afraid. Team It's Unknown, they need to try to the brakes on, but they maybe just aren't able to. Nevix back to his old school one trick.
We'll see how it works out here. Pulse Bomb from Joby, no sticks, unfortunately. But we'll see how the rest of these ults are used here. Hopefully, shot coming out from Alga here. Rally coming out from Yukino, beat coming out from Volta in return. Nevix almost getting a pin kill onto Yukino, but I think the rally just kept him alive. Volta will go down. It's Unknown providing some pretty good suppressive fire here. Finn will get picked off. Fake Nevix will go down as well here. Just clean up for Team It's Unknown here. I think Azo will manage to just barely make it out with their life, and it will be a fight win for Team It's Unknown.
Indeed, but 45 seconds left to go. At this point, Team Yuki, they don't want to spend ults. All they want to do is burn time until you get to overtime and then just wipe out your opponents.
Yeah, I mean, they are building the ults for it. I am excited to see a Shatter coming out, hopefully soon though, maybe. Overclock coming out from It's Unknown here. Immediately gets a pick onto Misaki. Finn will die as well. This has been a very, very effective use of that Overclock. They're getting pretty much 3 picks for 1 ult. 3 kills for 1 ult here.
Indeed, huge value there, but at the end of the day, it's an ult spent. Team Yuki didn't make that same mistake. Now we're getting into overtime. Team It's Unknown need probably 3 fights in a row, and they're already down Volta here. This is their chance. This is their moment.
Yeah, there it is. Everything coming out. Shatter comes out, though. Does manage to take down Azo onto the ground. Is it going to be enough? No, it is not, as it looks like overtime is going to start happening now. Chief, last one left to continue pushing it here. Of course, Team It's Unknown will have to push this cart all the way. So they'll have to win multiple fights here in a row to win.
Oh, he's so low, but he will be able to survive for now. Both teams spent their entire ult bank. Chief will be able to survive, pick up a health pack as well. So we're on to fresh compositions now. Azo's on that. Winston, It's Unknown, just coming back on faster heroes to continue. This touch so low is the player on Cup. We'll be able to survive at least for now.
So yeah, it is a messy fight coming up here, but I mean, almost everyone has swapped their heroes. Chief will go down here. Now both teams are kind of on final fight here. Misaki and Chief, Rizward all going down. Both sides losing players here. The Rhine actually proving to work somewhat here in terms of just providing a bit more cover for the rest of the team, especially into that soldier.
Getting poked out. Nevix is super low. They could shoot him, and that's a huge kill.
It is Rally coming out from Yukino, beat immediately coming out from Volta at the same time. Yukino just trying to live off of that Rally healing. It's not going to be enough. It's Unknown will get the pick. Volta will also go down to Chief, though, as a pulse bomb from Joby will get a pick onto Misaki after death. As it looks like I genuinely don't know who won that. Team Yuki will take the finals of the unNUELable All-Stars tournament. Wow. What an ending.
Okay, really quite close in the end. Team It's Unknown Hamley believing there for a second, but Team Yuki able to close things out 4-1 when all is said and done. Then they're able to just eke it through. To show they can do it on a variety of comps, of course. Azo beating the allegations as a Junker Queen one trick. And at the end of the day, we can also say the Booga coaching wasn't enough to get the victory.
It was not, unfortunately. But, I mean, it was a very... All the games were very great. There was a lot of very close fights, especially that final there, that final map. I genuinely had no idea who won that up until I saw the name on the screen. Both teams were so close. So it was a very well done performance by both sides. Well played. I'm glad we got to see some Reinhardt because that is always a fan favorite for us, I would say. As well as that, I mean, do you have any final thoughts before we pass it off to the analyst desk and potentially an interview?
I got nothing for you, man. Always fun to let these university tournaments go. Actually, I do. Small, slightly personal shout out, I guess, but Dreamlight are running a charity tournament in support of special effects, so it's gamers with disabilities. Go to their Twitter, try and sign up because it's all for a good cause.
Absolutely, go and sign up for that. That sounds like a great, fun time, and also for a great cause. So definitely go do that. As I think we should be able to pass it off to the analyst desk here in a second. Anyways, that's all from us. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one, hopefully.
Thank you, Spec and Hellgloom. Oh my goodness, every time I get jump scared about being on mute, but Keydog is not on mute this time.
I am
but
not on mute anymore. It's all good.
thank you so much to both of you guys. My goodness, that was a close final lap. That was unbelievably close. I thought we might be going a little bit further. I'd had some messages typed out, getting admin sorted, and my goodness, it almost had to delete them all and start over again. But enough talking from us. I think it's time to get in a very special guest, and it's going to be our winning captain. It is Mr. Yukido himself. Congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic. No, I'm actually a bit sick right now, but yeah, I'm feeling good about the win.
You did it. You did it. Oh my goodness, what a win it was as well. I mean, how did it feel after you lost the winners finals after maybe missing 2 maps due to sleep? But how did it feel to come back and win this one?
I'm dispelling this narrative. I am dispelling it. I was not asleep. My internet was not working. I could not join. Okay, that is what I'm saying. It was just written in the stars, you know. I mean, I played 2 maps, obviously, in the winners finals, I think. One map we rolled them, and the next map, my team may have got spid off the map a few too many times, and Iso may have fat fingered his ultimate. So I think
I remember that.
maybe if there wasn't a bit of trolling, I don't think we would have lost a single game. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, but feeling very good. I think we found the answer to what they wanted to do, and it was pretty easy. Just play Malga lol.
So when you first drafted your team, like after the draft ended, were you pretty confident that did you know you were gonna win, or did you know you were gonna get far? How confident were you at the beginning of the tournament?
I don't know Unigame Ball, bro. I was just gonna Franks.
I
know Iso. I know Finn. I know Finn's pretty good. I didn't want Rene, but that happened.
I was going to actually pick you up on this. I was going to pick you up because you said Finn was pretty good. I distinctly remember for the whole draft you going, "Oh, I've picked up Finn.
That's
I
not
get it
true.
instead."
That's not true.
Oh, I can't believe I got this guy. I got the wrong Oxford guy. How do you feel about it now? Has that sort of changed your opinion?
Yeah, maybe Finn's the ex-contenders player. You know, Rene might be a fraud.
Maybe it was Finn all along. Yeah.
Maybe it was Finn all along.
Yeah. Is there anyone else you want to shout out on your team? Anyone else surprise you on the team?
I think everyone. I think everyone did their job really well, and I think everyone fulfilled what they wanted to do. We had our lovely bench warmer that warmed the bench very well. We were considering playing them, but it's like we didn't want to risk it. You know, we've been playing like that 5 for so long, and they hit GM. Well done to them, but it just wasn't really worth risking it to ruin our synergy. You know. But yeah, I think everyone played well. I would like to give a shout out to Nevik for being bad at the game, though.
We did see a lot of typing, so it was quite funny to see it go this way in the end.
Just some questions on the game itself. So you lost map 1. After that loss, what was the sort of decision making to go like onto the Malga competition, and like from there, after you went on that Malga competition, it seemed like much more of a role. Like King's Row was close, but then after that, I think it was Suravasa, that was a much of a role, and you're just playing the Malga comp. Is it just more? Is that a comfort pick, or do you think they worked well into them, or what was the sort of...
I think to be honest with you, on the first map, we were sort of just waking up. Like Iso was half asleep. I had literally just woken up. I'm gonna be honest. We're a bit sleepy. We're a bit slow. We're kind of getting caught on rotations by the ball. I think I kind of called the Malga because Iso's comfortable in Malga, and it's sort of we sort of got the Juno Brig backline, which we'd kind of discussed pre-hand that we wanted, and obviously Brig was banned first map, so it was already like not really on our comfort. I think Yeah, I think we just sort of woke up and we just better at the comp, and we would have probably lost the King's Row map until I took the Kiriko. I think I was kind of inting on the brig, kind of running it down, but the Kiriko was kind of free. I just headshot Nevix on cooldown, and it's just easy win.
Yeah, no, that's that switch on the end did seem to do a lot. I mean, also the Kiri ult as well. You know,
Yeah,
you just
Kitsu's
needed to win
so
one
strong
fight,
right now.
right? So if
Yeah.
you just even if you didn't like win it before then, you could have just built Kitsu. Kitsu into Cage is really strong. So like having Kitsu and Juno, right? Yeah.
So before we let you go and celebrate here, or sleep, or whatever you wish to do, is there
Sleep her
anything? Well, is there anyone else you want to shout out? Anyone at all? Anything you want to say to all the viewers at the moment?
New TMZ for backing a real one. That's all I'm saying. They knew. They knew.
Oh really? Wait, did Naughty MZ put you guys as winning?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yuki,
Oh,
you know
that's
he's right here, so
crazy.
you can.
Hey,
Matt
hands up.
Murray,
Back up,
my
listen.
go.
I knew all along. I was the Where
Matt,
did Team
Matt be
Fox come in,
hating,
Matt?
so
Actually?
I wish him at
I-
last.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But
you
anyway,
got that.
thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations once again. And yeah, before we end the stream, I just want to say a few thank yous because, of course, a huge amount of work has gone into this from so many people. So you're gonna have to bear with me while I sit here like a soppy idiot. So
Got a list, yeah.
I do have a list. I always have a list. Keydog, for a start, that beautiful man in front of me right now. Thank you so much for everything that you've helped with, and Andreas as well. Sort of the Warwick admin team. We get the job done when it needs to be done. So thank you very much to you too. Thank you to Cyborg. Cyborg has been helping out in the help room for a lot of the people and all the teams, which was super helpful as well. A huge thank you to Unisco, who I know is in this call right now, who created the player cards that you all saw, who's created all the stream graphics that you've seen, who has been on here producing, observing, whatever, literally anything you could think of. It is literally inconceivable the amount of work that he's done. So huge thank you to him. Big Warwick does not exist without the man behind the scenes. He really is employed, and he's employed by us on a full-time basis, 25 hours, 8 days a week. You know what it's like. Thank you to all our casters in particular. Thank you to Spec. Thank you to Egda. Thank you to Hellgloom. Who else casted? Booga casted for a game, for God's sake. And Nuggets casted.
Thank
Cheeseman
you,
casted.
Booga. Thank you, Booga.
Thank you, Booga, of course. Thank you to all you casters. It's been brilliant having so many people involved as well. Thank you to Jackie for observing a few games. Thank you to AGX, who created, you can see above my face right now, the unNUELable All-Stars graphics. Huge thank you for creating that as well. And again, thanks to all the captains, all you guys for taking the time to sort of come to the draft and make sure you think about the teams, even if Yukino, you just chose yours based on the ranks. It still doesn't matter.
Cool
You all
people.
took time.
They're cool people.
Yes, and it's been really good to get so many universities involved, and a very final thank you to Billy, Jim G, and Derpy, because back in Stockholm when we were there for the ODBCS Grand Finals, I talked about this in a bar, the Cock Bar in particular. In case you
I
wanted
love
to know.
the cook bar. Shout out to
The
the cook
I
bar.
was good.
The Cup Bar. We were there, and I was talking about how this is a crazy idea that I really wanted to do, and the support that they gave and the enthusiasm is a big reason why this has happened. So thank you to them, and thank you everyone for watching and taking part and enjoying the whole tournament. Hopefully we get to do it again soon,
Have you
because
thanked the
it really
players?
was
Sorry,
a
I
blast.
can't remember.
Of course, thank you to the players. Thank you for
Okay,
everyone who signed up. Thank you for everyone who
Yeah.
watched. We've learned a lot. Of course, it hasn't been perfect, but nothing ever is on the first time. So hopefully you guys will sort of provide the feedback that we need, and we'll get it going again, maybe in a couple of months, maybe next year, and we'll run it back, and it'll be even better than ever. But thank you so much. Kai, is there anything you want to say before I wrap it up?
Well, I'll just say thank you to you, Matt, for being the big Warwick head,
Whatever.
organizing all this. I know it's been a lot of work for you anyway, so thank you to you.
Okay, well, I did. It looks now like I just passed over to you just to get an ego thanks for myself. So
Yeah.
thanks, man. You could have said
Isn't that what you wanted,
something. Only a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in NSC and Newell this term if you're playing, and we will see
I'm on
you
DPS.
very, very soon for an unNUELable episode.
Watch out for the key dog Lucio. I'm just putting that out there right now. Watch out for the key dog Lucio. Yeah, sorry.
Guys,
What you can know Sojourn, bro.
I'm gonna be on Sojourn. It's gonna be fine, but Keydog's gonna be making sure we barely make top 8. I can't wait for that. But anyway, again, thank you so much. We'll see you for the next unNUELable episode where we'll discuss this a little bit more, and we'll see you all soon. But thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your
Bye.
evening.
Bye.